There you go. Hey, thanks everybody. Whoever see, so I guess it's Sherry G and a lurker. Um, hey, thanks for coming on. I'm gonna give it a few minutes before I really get into anything. Um, as you can see, I am still I still am physically all right. Um, I'm better. Uh, I've only I had a couple of drinks last night, a couple of drams or whatever last night um, on a live hot buttery rolls, but I pretty much haven't drank anything at all in the last couple of weeks, and I won't be tonight because I have a couple of interviews tomorrow. Hey, what's up? What's up, Mister Whiskey Shits? It's good to see you, buddy. Appreciate you. I appreciate what you did for me last night. You too, Sherry G. Sugar Kitty, good to see you. Um, thanks for coming on. I know it's been a while. I apologize to anybody that might. I mean, I don't know why you'd be upset that you haven't seen me. Hey, Doug H. I don't know why anybody would say if they would be upset to see me or upset to not see me because I'm not exactly the best looking thing in the world, and I talk way too fucking much. But oh darn, I was hoping Ruben was going to be over here, but he just went live on. Hey JJ, what's going on? So I will not be. I'm sorry, guys. I won't be drinking tonight. I do, as I said last night, I do have an interview for a job tomorrow. Um, hopefully it works out. I don't know what like pay wise and stuff would be involved for sure. And of course, it's going to be a little while. It'll probably at least be a week or so before I actually get to go to work or anything like that. So it's going to be a few weeks before I see any kind of monetary return. So for what everybody did for me last night is fucking awesome. And that'll definitely get me through. Well, hopefully it definitely get me through until I officially have a job and I actually start getting some money, some income to keep myself from being, hey, what's going on? But like I said, I won't be drinking tonight. My stomach still isn't 100%. It's at 95%. I just started getting really bad acid reflux and stuff like that. And I was drinking every single night with Ken from Scotch Down Under and Swami and everybody else I'd go on live with. And I was not in a great place in my head, and I was completely stressed out, and it just added up. Hey, Shane, what's going on? So yeah, I'll be drinking water and 7-Up tonight. But feel free to talk about whiskey. I'm open to talk about it all the time. Hey, what's up, Jen? Now, so anybody, I don't know if anybody's on here that wasn't on Hot Buttery Roses live last night, but it says so it says there's only 8 people. Can y'all hear me all right? I just want to make sure that I'm coming out all right. It's been a little bit. I just really quickly set this up. I have to thank Bobby, Bourbon Battalion. Hopefully he jumps in here pretty quick. I thought he would be by now. But let's see. Yeah, so I need a shout out to Bobby, Bourbon Battalion, a lot of other people. How you say it? A lot of people reached out to me when I was sick to check up on me, make sure I was all right. But a lot of people didn't know. If you didn't know that If you weren't watching my Instagram live a couple weeks ago, you might not have known that I was sick to the point where I couldn't do a live. I tried to do a live on Instagram to try it out. I lasted about 20 minutes, and then I got really super sick. But Cheech Artolino got you a few new subscribers tonight. Okay. Did I miss something? Or is he talking about somebody else? Sorry if I'm having a hard time keep staying with the chat and everything else. I've got. Oh, okay. You're telling Cheech that he got a few new subscribers tonight. Yeah. Okay. 101. See, that's amazing how that happened. I'm happy for you, Cheech, even though you're the first person I've seen that's got over 100 subscribers that doesn't have any content up. But I know it's coming. We had that discussion already before all this other stuff happened with me, and I look forward to being part of that. As long as, depending on this job, I will be in that situation to be part of that. But I want everybody to know that no matter what the situation is, I will be still around. I'll still be lurking. I'll still be making content. Just the schedules might end up changing, but that's something for me to figure out once I don't want to get my hopes up. So when I actually get an actual job. So basically, in a nutshell, I was I hate to use the word lying. I was covering up something for the last couple months. And I want people to hear it because they need to hear it. Not only physically with my gut, and that was just literally something that lasted a little bit over a week. Well, I can't say lasted a little bit over because it's still there a little bit. But that's something that's only been a week or two-ish in that realm since I've been off of YouTube and Instagram. What it is that I've been severely depressed for a while. Well, depressed for a while, I'd say initially when I was let go from my last job last May, I was spiraling down, but the community kept me up, being able to be involved in it. And for a month or so, but then a pressure was relieved because it ended up being, to me, kind of a blessing that I was let go because I wasn't happy where I was at. I was always in fear, or not fear. I always had this feeling of being watched, or like I was going to lose my job at any minute, even though I wasn't doing anything to lose my job. I just felt by the way that people talking to me in certain ways and acting towards me in certain ways that it made me slightly paranoid, and it got me to the point to where a company that I loved, the community, that whole job that I had that I loved having and going to work every day, had me sitting in a parking lot towards the end, saying, in the parking lot, literally getting ready to just call off work and then drive away because I didn't want to walk in the building. So it worked out for me in a way, hurt me in other ways. Financial wise, I don't need to talk about that. That's something that I need to, that's my thing of how I survived as long as I did. Nothing illegal or anything else. It's just that, let's put this way. I'm pretty much, the savings is done. Initially, I was taking off 3 months. Basically, June, July, and August, and I needed to get back to a place where I really wanted to go back to work. I felt antsy. I wanted to get there. Unfortunately, in August, as some of you know, I got struck with Bell's palsy, and I lost the control of the right side of my face. It's not a permanent thing. It's a temporary thing. And Hey, what's up, Trev? I'm sorry if I'm ignoring anybody. Bobby, um, Cheech, yeah, I owe you a lot for the. Um, I didn't inspire. I don't. I'm not inspiring anybody to start it. I didn't inspire anybody. You had it in your head already. You asked a question. I answered it, and I'm glad that I was part of it, and I hope to be part of it from here on. Cheech. But yeah, so then I got struck with the whole losing right side of my face. Well, I'm a large machinery mechanic in the corrugated industry for the last 14 years. And it's not a good thing to have one of your eyes taped shut because you can't control it and try to work on machinery and climbing into spaces and working in sometimes things moving around. And the fact that I had to drink water through one side of my mouth and kind of lean to not have it pour out all over the place. And I had a hard time. People who saw me when I was starting to recover, yeah, where just to the point where basically it was hard for me to talk for any more than a couple 30, 40 seconds before I started like that. So the doctor told me it'd take couple weeks to a year, but that it shouldn't take that long to get to a point where I'd be able to work, to be at least feel functional and not feel bad about what was going on with me. It ended up being 6 months, and that takes us to just after the first of the year. I'm saying I'm probably at 95%. I still have, a little bit of things here and there that happen, but it's so much better that I was getting really antsy to go to work. And then the depression thing that started a couple months ago, I ignored some other stuff I shouldn't have ignored. It bit me in the ass, and it put me in the situation that we were talking about last night on Hot Buttery Rolls. And that is, hey, what's up, Richie Z? And that is that I had basically what everybody did for me last night and has continued today, off and on throughout the day. I've gotten a few more donations. I'm not going to get into the details of the money overall because people that were on the live last night know they can approximate how much it was and everything else. But right now it sits at enough to give me another month or so of not having to worry about being homeless. And that's after the initial, what I put at 6 weeks as of last week. Before that. So it gives me a little bit more leeway to, if I do get a job tomorrow, then it's going to work. It'll work out fine. It'll work out to the point where I should be able to put that money right back into the channel. This is not for, like I said last night, the donations that go to this, that came to me last night. And, I hate to do this. It feels like I'm begging, but I'm not begging. This is just in case somebody wanted to donate that wasn't able to donate last night or wasn't on the stream and didn't know what was going on last night. Those are and if, like I said, I'm not asking anybody to do this. I'm just putting it out there because there were people that, after the stream missed some stuff. Some other people that don't actually follow me on YouTube. They're my Instagram guys, but they heard some things and they asked me how to help, and they reached out and helped me a little bit, a little bit. And I appreciate that. So, and they said to make sure that I still put it out there because nothing is guaranteed. Just because I'm going in to talk to HR tomorrow, to HR at this company, which usually means that they're going to make me an offer. So that's a good thing. nothing's guaranteed. I also have a phone interview with a different place, either tomorrow afternoon or Tuesday. I have some other things in the works, so I'm hoping that everything goes really, really well, or at least to the point where I don't have to hope that somebody wants to help me. And that's what I want to get to now. So if you notice in the chat, it is the link to StreamYard is on there. And if somebody does want to come on and talk to me or anything like that, I'm more than open to it. But I need to do some other things first before that. I have to thank some people. Actually, I have to thank a lot of people. Now, if you donated to me on Venmo, you will not be in this list of people. Because what it is that on Venmo, when somebody sends you money or sends a donation or whatever you want to call it, you can comment back to them. You can like their comment, just like you would be in here. You can like their comment and reply back to them. And I replied to everybody that donated to me on Venmo yesterday. I stayed up pretty late last night going through and thanking the people that I could immediately get in touch with through Venmo and a couple others on Instagram last night. But it doesn't allow you to do that on, unfortunately, does not allow you to do that on PayPal. So if, hey, what's up, Kerber? DMC Kentucky. Thank you. Thank you for Prescription Bourbon. So real quick, people that are in the chat. So Cheech Artolino, he has a channel. If you're not already subscribed to it, it is called Whiskey Encore. Go check. Go over there, give him a subscribe. Once his content goes, make sure you push the bell, hit that bell, get your notifications. And once he starts posting and everything else, you get the notifications and it'll be good to go. Prescription Bourbon, DMC Kentucky, same guy. But go check out Prescription Bourbon. If you're not following him, you should be. They might not be in the chat. I have to go through. Sorry if I'm behind, guys. Thanks a lot, Floydian. Now, I don't know. These are people's names. Lone Wanderer 360 is the only one that I know what his real name is. His actual name is compared to his handle. I'll thank out Lone Wanderer would be one of the people I definitely thank too. What's up, Kerber? If I missed anybody that has a channel that's in the chat already, please tell me, because you deserve a shout out. Period. I understand. John T. Thank you for that. I'll look into that. That's some other outlets I have never thought of going towards, because I always think that other people need stuff more than me. So I kind of I've kind of not reached out to certain organizations and stuff like that I know that would help. But then again, somebody told me today, and this is something that I learned. 51 years old, and I learned something every day. And today I learned something. Bobby, Bourbon Battalion, he went live on Instagram. I popped in and popped out really, really quick. Adriana, hello. Thank you for Jim Morris. You all, thank you for joining. Trev, I think I said something earlier, but thank you again. Almost 30 people in the chat. That's actually really freaking cool. But so here's the deal. Bobby reached out to me. He called me. He video chatted me on Instagram. Hey, Jacob. And just to see how I was doing, because he noticed that I popped in. This is less than 5 seconds. I popped in because it said that he was live. When I popped in, I was like, wait a second, I'm not ready to go on a chat right now. I got to take care of some other stuff. And I went ahead and popped right back out. It was 5 seconds. He noticed it. So he video DM'd me or whatever on Instagram and then talked to me for a couple hours. And he said something to me that hit home. I mean, hit me really freaking hard. And to preface that before this, he knows what my situation is. He's one of very few people that I told exactly the details of everything. Now, it's not that I don't trust anybody with all the details of everything that's happening with me exactly. But yeah, you can't, I hope everybody understands I can't tell everybody everything about every detail of my life and stuff. But Bobby reached out to me and I ended up spilling my guts to someone I actually just met a month on YouTube and Instagram a couple months ago. And he told me that I felt like that if I came out and said something, I was begging, that I was lesser of a person to telling people that I do have issues with depression. I've brought it up before, but I didn't want people to know that I fell back into it. I didn't want anybody to know. Not my family. My cousin is the only other person in the world that knew until yesterday about my depression. And he's been there the whole way. And Tim, if you're watching, or if you get to watch later, I love you and Lisa and the guys. You guys have always had my back. And that's my cousin. He's Tim C, but not this Tim C that's in the chat. It's my cousin Tim Christensen. My brothers, my family stuff has been supportive. They just but they don't know what's going on right now, except for my brother. My brother John does, but not really the whole detail. And they will know soon. But I needed to tell somebody that wasn't in that immediate circle that's going to be like, well, you need to do this and you need to do that. I needed somebody to give me real feedback. And the best feedback Bobby gave me was, if somebody offers to help, you're allowed to say no. If they insist, it's your duty as a person who cares about that person offering the help to accept it once they insist. If you don't, then you're telling them that the value they have in you to help you don't have in them to help you, or for you to help them. And that, to me, like I said last night on Hot Buttery Rolls, hey, Bourbon, that it's, how you say it? What's the words on the karma's real. I realized last night, karma is, excuse my language, karma is fucking real. I know what I've done in the community. I never did it to get any kind of accolades, to be called a legend by freaking Trev all the freaking time. To have people yell swags in the comments, to have people even give a damn about me outside of being in the chat. And I said it last night. I wasn't the greatest person. I mean, it's been a long time since I changed I've changed my mental set on people in general. But I was always out for number one, no matter what the situation was, for a long time. And over the past 15, 20 years, I changed that mentality to trying to hear people, what people were saying, trying to help people as much as possible, always putting other people before myself. And yeah, it's bitten me in the ass a lot, but it's never put me all the way down. And as long as I wasn't all the way down and could fight back, I was good. It's this last year when it made it extremely hard to fight back that it got really bad. Hey, someone's in the background, and I know he's going to give me so much shit for almost crying. But so yeah, I owe a lot to what Bobby told me today, because he told me I needed to get this out to all the people that care about me. They deserve to at least know some information about what's going on with me. I reached out to Trev Wilson and spent a long time talking to Trev Wilson today, who is a good, I want to say a brother and a good friend of mine. Richie and all these other guys that I haven't actually talked to physically. You guys are also my brothers. I love each and every one of you guys. Yeah, you're just a teenage dirtbag, Shane Long. And you know what, Shane? I love you to death, but guess what? You still get that. But so yeah, Swami just popped in. He's in the background. I'm going to go ahead and bring him on. But I know that Swami's been through a lot of shit in the last 6 months. We all know what's been going on with him. And he's always been, at least he's been himself, you know. He never freaking tried to cover up anything. He told everybody straightforward, and that's the thing I feel bad. I feel that I let people down for not letting them know what was going on from the jump. But I hope that you understand that there was reasons behind how I went about it, and every bit of the donations that came to me will be, if they don't have to be, whatever doesn't have to be used to keep me afloat, will go right back in the channel and right back to you all in some way, shape, or form. So let me go ahead and bring Swami on for a little bit. Hopefully he's not too hammered, because then he'll start calling me names.
I'm not drunk at all. I don't even know what's going on. I saw the link and I should have listened first. You all right? Everything okay?
Yeah. So what happened? Well, I know you jumped on 2 Wheels Down. If you're not subscribed, Swami's back. He's 2 Wheels Down.
Yeah. Don't talk about me. What's going on? What's up?
Okay, so basically, I've been putting on a face for a few months. I've been going through super hardcore depression. People wouldn't know it by me on lives and everything else, but that depression ended up. I ended up forgetting about a few things, and those ended up being financial things that bit me in the ass, and the money that I had, a big chunk of money that I had saved to continue until I went ahead and got a job. I lost it, and I was literally within 4 to 6 weeks of being homeless, literally losing everything, and I didn't want anybody to know. But I needed to talk to someone, so I called Chris, Hot Buttery Rolls.
Yeah, I saw last night they were doing a show. I tuned in, but I was kind of busy, so I didn't know really what it was about. I heard they were doing some donation thing, but I didn't know it was for you, Stanley. I didn't know that.
So what happened was that Chris was not. He was going to do his live, but he wasn't going to do a giveaway because Amy Bohm is the one that does the super chat stuff for him. And she was the guest, so he wasn't going to do a giveaway. I told him what my situation was and asked him if he had any advice for me as a friend and as somebody that's not in my family that was going to sit there and go, well, you need to do this and you need to do. No, I asked his advice as a friend, and he said, you know what? I said, he goes, what do you want to do? I said, well, I kind of want to get it out there that if people would be willing to help, I'd really appreciate it. But I didn't want to sound like I was begging or anything like that, because that's what I felt I was doing.
You're not everyone needs help now and again, and anyone who says they haven't is full of shit. From the richest to the rich, to the poorest to the poor, everyone has needed help at a certain point in their fucking life, and no one should ever feel ashamed about needing to ask for help. And dude, I'm not gonna make fun of you for that shit. I'm not that evil. When I make jokes, my jokes are self-deprecating. They're always about me. So,
no, what I was saying was that I was tearing up slightly, and I was getting ready for you to come on and say, "Stop being what are you crying? You know, what are you crying for, bitch?" or something like that, just to fuck with me.
It's all right. It's all right.
Just to fuck with me.
Listen, you have a mangina where
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm expecting. Just like Shane Long giving me shit.
Yeah, no, it's all right, bro. We all have emotions.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Shane asked me, because my stomach's still not at 100%. The acid reflux is still there a little bit, so I'm still not drinking. I had a couple like a thank you drink last night, and it kind of came back up on me pretty quick.
You're going through the same shit I'm going through. You got the acid reflux too.
Yeah, it's mine. I have it when I gain a lot of weight. And because I'm type 2 diabetic, it's part of it goes along with it. I end up getting some acid reflux stuff, and as I start to lose weight, it starts to go away. And all
I can say is exercise, bro. Exercise. And take your pantoprazole, take your blockers. Don't fuck around with that shit.
Yeah. But yeah. So right now, I mean, I can have a drink. A drink, but I was also, from the streams that we were doing with Ken and me and you and everything else over up until the last couple of weeks, I was going hard at it freaking for 2 weeks, like almost every night, if not every other night. And that kind of messed with my stomach a little bit too, but I'm back about. I'm easily like the 95th percentile of being 100% back. Just
awesome.
But yeah. So I screwed up. Like I said, I ignored some things. I didn't realize that I've been depressed before, but I didn't realize that I was in a state of depression. And people try to explain this to me when I talk to them about it. Was that you do tend to ignore things that you don't find immediately important.
Yeah.
Because you're just completely inside your head and the rest of the world doesn't exist. So it ended up biting me in the ass. And last night, Chris had his stream. He decided to shut off his super chats.
Yeah.
And then you'd asked about that. And
I didn't even know it was you that he was talking about, Stanley.
Right.
If I knew it was you, I would have. Like because I was in and out. I knew he told me that they were doing something, but he said he didn't really. I don't think he mentioned your name. He said we're doing something for a brand or something like that. And I was okay, and came in and out. But no, man, this every I don't even want to say the whiskey community. I want to say the people in general. They're there to help, and especially these past year and a half or so, everyone's gone through some rough shit.
Yeah.
It's like, but you should not be ashamed. I get pride gets in there, but you shouldn't be ashamed. Everyone asks for a handout. Everyone in their entire life. There's no such thing as bootstraps. All the bootstrap motherfuckers need to shut the fuck up. That's bullshit. All right, everyone has needed help.
And yeah, so basically, so he started out with, he just told me, this is what his message was to me. It was, so I need you to go ahead and track super chats for me tonight. He asked me for my PayPal and my Venmo. Now I thought that maybe he was gonna mention it on his live, and then maybe I'd get a couple, $100 or a couple $100 or whatever. If at a maximum, I wasn't expecting anything from anybody. If it would have been $5, it would have meant the same as what it ended up being. But then he says, "Oh, by the way, you're tracking super chats tonight." And I go, "Wait a second, I don't have the computer program." He goes, "No, you got to write them down by hand." And I'm like, "Why?" He goes, "Because you're the only one's going to know who's donating, because it's going to your Venmo and your PayPal. You need to keep track of all those people, because it's going to be a giveaway." And then he said, and then he comes on live and tells people about it. And he's going to give away an EH Taylor small badge. And I'm like sitting there going, "This is cool. I appreciate it. It'll get me a little bit of help. That's cool." And then as soon as he says that, Jason Busey jumps on and throws $100 immediately. Within 10 minutes, I'm over $200, and then Tim C throws $300. And then it just boom started going. Then all of a sudden, people start giving bottles to put up for giveaways. Next thing you know, there's 13 bottles for giveaways. Then Shane Long, who had already been giving up bottles for giveaways, decides to throw in a Kentucky Owl Batch 2 rye if there was $355 donations. We hit that, exceeded that, but that will be given away. That will be in a giveaway at another time, because it was something that was towards the end of the night type thing. And then at the last minute, another person jumped in and threw in an Alberta cask, premium cask strength. So it ended up being 14 bottles that were given away last night for me. And Shane throwing in a Kentucky Owl Rye Batch 2 is freaking huge. That's not a cheap bottle. And oh, I'm sorry. And it was autographed by Dixon Dedman.
Nice.
So that is freaking is so freaking awesome.
I'm very happy that the community came out in force for you, man, and you deserve it. You're a good guy. I've only known you for about 3 months now, but since I met you, you've been a chill dude, man. You're a fun guy to get to know. You're nice. You're a nice person. So see no reason. And I told you that when I first met you. You might not have the largest subscriber channel, but percentage of people that watch you comparison to the amount of subscribers you have, you got something going, man. People like you. You should be really happy. You always have about 35% of your actual subscribers watching you every time you go live, which is fucking sweet.
Yeah. And so that's one of those things where then people, and I talked to some other people from Instagram also today that reached out to me while I was sick. I got back in touch with them, people that I'm actually close with on Instagram, to let them know. No, literally until today, until Bobby, the Bourbon Battalion, reached out to me and said, "Get your head out of your ass. You need to contact people and tell them what's going on. You need to stop keeping this shit to yourself," type situation. And then he's also a veteran like myself and some people that are here in the chat. But it was basically there's two communities.
As a veteran, do you guys get help covered? I know sometimes it takes long, but is it covered?
To a certain point, there's no. I can walk in the Veterans Hospital; they're not going to turn me away, but and they're going to take care of me and everything else. But everything now is dependent on how much you make.
No, but let's say if you just need to talk to somebody, like if you need to.
If I count like counseling or something like that, I haven't looked into it. I had gone to a counselor a couple of years ago, and it helped.
Yeah.
But I did also find that talking to my cousin and some other people that just didn't judge me, just talk to me like normal conversations, but listen to when I needed to say something that was bothering me, didn't judge me for what I was saying or tell me how I needed to fix myself. just was there to support me helped a
Just
lot
listen.
too.
Just someone to listen, pretty much.
Yeah.
Get your
And
shit off your chest.
and I have to shout out to Timothy Van Riper, Single Barrel Snob on Instagram. He just spent right before this. He just spent. He had reached out to me, and he just spent an hour or so. So did Trev Wilson today. So did Bobby. Spent like a total of about 4 hours with me over today, just talking to me about shit in general, just to make sure I'm okay and stuff. And I appreciate that. And other people that told me that they'll talk to me tomorrow evening.
Well, if you Stanley, if you ever want to chat, man, you can go to my Instagram. It's Swami GeoSuave, and we can chat on the message board.
So Swami. Okay, so you're Swami GeoSuave.
Yep.
Okay, because
Didn't know that.
I noticed that.
A lot of the whiskey people are sub to me. So.
Yeah, I noticed that for some reason. I noticed that earlier today. I was looking at somebody's Instagram feed. I couldn't remember who it was. Maybe it was Hendo or somebody like that. Will Henderson or one of those guys today. And I saw Swami GeoSuave, and I'm like, there's no way that's fucking.
Yeah.
Is it Swami? And then boom, it's like you just told me.
My middle name is Giovanni. So.
Oh, okay. Freaking Italians.
Yeah.
But no, like I said, you've always been straight. You've always been straight with me, and I appreciate that. And I apologize to you for not being more forward and open about what was going on with me.
Dude, I've known you for 3 months. You have nothing to apologize to me. It's none of my business about your life. If you want to talk to me, you're allowed to, but you should never say sorry about it. Don't worry about it.
All right, but
don't feel guilty of it anyway. I'm gonna go eat with my wife. I'm glad to hear the community opened up and did such nice things for you. And I think as a person, you deserved it. So don't feel like it was a handout. Feel like these are friends that wanted to help you. And don't feel like you begged for it. There's no shame. Don't shame in your game. Don't be don't beat yourself up about it. We all need help sometimes. I've had it happen to me. My wife's had it happen to her, my sisters, my family, everybody I've known. It's happened to, and it's like,
All right. Thanks a lot, Swami. I will once I find out. So I did have a job interview on Friday. Supposed to go talk. They told me to come and talk to HR tomorrow. Usually, when they tell you to come in and talk to human resources, that means that there's going to be an offer on the table. So, and I have some other phone interviews over the next few days. So hopefully something comes out of it this week. And this, what people helped me out with, like I said.
Well, I heard that, I don't know. I'm Canadian, but I heard this week they passed the thing. So you guys are going to get some COVID relief or some shit like that soon. Should be coming.
I'd have to look. Truthfully, if you really want to know, I haven't paid attention to any kind of news or anything for about 4 or 5 days.
I'm not American, so I overheard that like $1,600 or something is supposed to be coming.
I'll have to look into that also. But like I said, right now going tomorrow, finding out whether or not I actually have a shot at a real shot at a job, and I'm going to keep all my options open. But right now, I need if that means I got to get a stopgap, or I don't want to say a stopgap job but whatever I have to do, I'm still going to keep my other options open. I don't want to just say, well, this guy's offered me a job, I'm taking it, and I'm never going to go anywhere else because I can't go through this again. But it's good to know that this money, whether it ends up having to go towards things I need to take care of, it will go, like I said to everybody else, if there's anything left over, hopefully there is, it will go right back.
They gave that money to you. Take care of yourself. Get your shit organized. Don't spend the money on the channel. Spend the money on things that you need. All right? Take care of yourself. Go if you need like to speak to someone, go speak to someone. If you can't, get like counseling for free. Get yourself ready for work. Get your CVs in order. Get your shit in order. YouTube is secondary. All right.
Yeah.
Remember that.
Okay, sir. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you telling smacking me in the freaking head and
No, I'm not
everything
smacking.
else.
I'm just telling you.
I
take care
know.
of
I know.
yourself.
It's a little freaking a little push, a little kick in the ass. I need that.
Right.
So thank you very much. Enjoy dinner with your wife.
Yep.
And I will talk with you soon.
All right, Stanley. Have a good night.
You too. Night.
Cheers.
Bye. Thank you, Swami, for coming on. I appreciate that. I'll get back. Sorry, I haven't been paying attention to the chat. If anybody said anything to me, if I missed something that you guys need me to see and whatever, please shout it out again. So yeah, Pepto. Yeah, I've been taking some Tums. I took some acid pills, but yeah. So it's just been a ride lately. But let me get to the business at hand. So these obviously all these people are not going to be in the chat, but I really need to, for myself, not being able to comment back on their donations to them to let them know how much this meant to me. I'm going to run through this real quick. And if this is going to be people's names, because unless I immediately recognize them as somebody, I don't know their handles, but Jason Busey, Big Dick the Big Dick Club, freaking Jason Busey, thank you for your donation. I want to run through the names and then I'll say what I need to say at the end of it. Lone Wanderer 360, Amy Bone, YPC, Young Pei Chang, Hendo, Will Henderson. Hopefully you're still here in the chat. If not, I hope you see this later. Christopher David, Joseph Slaughter, Mr. Holtzclaw. It says it was Holtzclaw Tech, but I can't remember what it is. I know the name Holtzclaw. I can't remember the first name off the top of my head. I want to say Steven, but it's probably wrong. It's probably Joseph or freaking Jim or somebody like that. But Mr. Holtzclaw, thank you very much. It's in the name of Carrie Trombetta, but I know from the text that I got, John Trombetta, thank you very much. John T. To anybody that knows. Tim C. Well, thank you very, very much. Bland Aid Design Group. I do not know who that is. I did not get a name from it, but I do appreciate you. Buckley Medley, which I found out, I guess, later was Uncle Buck. Thank you very much. JG. JG Wentworth. 1-800 freaking MASH now. I got to come up with. I'm going to come up with a commercial. I just got to figure out a last name. Wentworth doesn't work with whiskey. JG, and I need something whiskey like JG Whiskey Tube or JG Whiskey something. 1-800 MASH now. I need to work on that. Idea is always still going in my head, even though it's been messed up. Brian Kilco. We know you don't have a lot, and I appreciate the fact that you donated last night. That means a lot to me. And everybody, just to let you know, I consider you guys my friends. I consider you guys my family. I love each and every one of you. Whether I've talked to you 1,000 times in the chat, whether I've talked to you one time in the chat, or I've never talked to you in the chat because you're a lurker. The fact that people came out to do this for me, the kindness of their heart means the world. And remember, I've got your back in any way I can, whatever I can do. Let's see. Anthony Maglico, is probably Tony something. I just don't recognize it. Jason Calori, Mash and Drum. Thank you. Sherry G. She was the very first person in the chat tonight. Hopefully she's still around to hear this. And let's see. If I do say your name twice, it's only because you're on the list for multiple times, and I just forgot that I said your name already. But David Collins, Shelf Turds. Thank you. Thank you to the Collins family. Tim Evans, thank you. Mark Bond, thank you very, very much. If you're still here, Adam Priest, I know your donation was on Venmo and stuff, but I just want to say to you, we literally just met a few weeks ago, and we ended up being on a live together, just bullshitting and talking to each other for a long time. Stephen Holtzclaw. All right, there you go. Thanks, Richie Z. If you're still here, thank you very much, because for someone that just met me, for the way you reached out and your comments to me on your donation, they do mean a lot to me. Along with, screw it, I'm going to go through everybody. Greg Cox, Tyler Wilson, the franchise, Gary Franchi, Mike Stahl, if you're here. Thank you. Caitlin Brubaker, Ernie Brubaker. I got two different donations. One, they're both in Caitlin's name. Both had Caitlin's name, but one was marked as from Ernie. So Ernie, thank you. James Robertson, Whiskey Samurai, thank you very much. We will be talking soon, hopefully, if you're not already in here. Kyle McDowell, Jacob Enriquez, Bourbon, thank you. Shane Long, I've already thanked you for what you did for donating last night. Thank you for your donation personally to me. I do appreciate that. Scott Phaeton, I want to say, or Phaeton, Feiten. Thank you. The Night Herd. Don't know who that is, but thank you very much. Doug, Hall of Fame Doug, Doug.hof. You were in the chat earlier. I don't know if you're still here, but thank you very much. And I appreciate you, sir. I appreciate all of you. Armando Bravo, Spider X, I think is what it is. I'd have to look at it a little bit closer. I kind of scribbled something. Christina Trematore, which is Ruben's wife, Bourbon Beginnings. Thank you very, very much, sir. I will be in touch with you soon also. I think I said Jacob Enriquez already, but I don't remember, so there he is again. James Morris, thank you very much. Brett Warren, Andrew Webster, Wesley Zeller. These next two I'll do at the very end. But then there's a lot of repeats. There's a lot of repeats through the whole thing. That's why after all the donations that everybody sees last night, is because some people donated. If anybody knew what some of the sums were, and I don't want to put anybody on spots or anything like that. And it swags Daniel Kurt. What? Okay. And then let's see. Dave Lightweiss. Let's see. Ken from Scotch Down Under, which I know he's probably not here, even though usually he's doing something crazy like that. I don't want to mess your name up, but Brian, it's either Brian Sherbert or Sherbet. Thank you. And then I've already said it, but Sherry G, Thank you very much. Thank you for being the first in the chat, and just awesome. And then DMC Kentucky, I said something about it when I was doing shout outs for channels. Prescription Bourbon, thank you very much, sir. David, I appreciate you. I appreciate how you've reached out to me, checked up on me, and anybody else that did reached out and checked up on me. I also appreciate that. A lot of people did, and a good 10 or 15, good 10, 15 people reached out. Some people called me, DM me, text me, whatever way of getting in touch with me, and I appreciate that. I've popped in on a few chats and stuff over the last, week or so. And, yeah, so like I said, thank you guys. Kerber, thanks a lot. Let me see. Yeah, maybe I can pop up some. So let's see. Here we go. I missed a bunch of stuff in the chat, and I'm really sorry because I was talking. But Mr. Whiskey Shits, thank you. I'm sorry if I'm yawning. This freaking my whole sleep schedule has been like really, really weird for the last few weeks. I actually slept for the first time in like 3 days, like slept for an extended period of time, more than 15 minutes in about 4 or 5 days yesterday. So that's still got me a little bit off. Let's see. Yeah. Like I said, I don't know job wise what kind of hours or anything like that. And I know everybody's like, don't worry about that. I will be around. I'll always be in the chats. I will be back to crush Dan Shook's dreams. And I will be on lives of Scotch Down. I mean, the damn Scotch Down Under. Holy shit. He does lives freaking at all hours, all the time. Shane, I'm sure I'll see Shane Long and Swami and all those people on over there with Ken at some point in time and everything else. And I'm still going to be here doing this as often as possible. I guess it's a blessing, I guess, that Klein decided not to go on tonight, or not decided, wasn't able to go on tonight because of his computer. That sucks, but had I not came on here to tell you guys what's going on and to thank you, I don't know that I would have even been back on YouTube this week at all. If Bobby Bourbon Battalion hadn't kicked me in the ass and got me on the phone today and told me to get out there and tell people what's going on, and just accept the fact that people wanted to help me and not feel like I asked for a handout, or that I did something, that I was doing something that I I wasn't begging. He's the one that convinced me to stop doing that shit. And Swami also helped out with what he said, and people in the chat have helped me out with what they said and everything else. JD, hey, what's going on? Bourbon Approach. Okay, now I know who you are. I am subscribed to Mr. Bourbon Approach, I believe. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I would not be surprised if I wasn't. I think I'm subscribed to an ungodly amount of people on Instagram. But I get, like I said, it's a blessing that Klein wasn't able to go on, because now I get to talk to all y'all. And yeah, so yeah, I am following you, sir. Just wanted to verify that. So then, yeah, thank you, Daniel. Kerber. I know there's people that are missing from the chat that I normally am extremely interactive with. This was a last minute thing. Nobody expected me to go on. Once Klein decided that he was, or the situation happened to where Klein wasn't going on tonight, I knew that people were just going to check out because that means a Sunday night that they're not staying up till 10 o'clock on the East Coast or whatever the situation is, that they get to check out. They get to check out for the night, take the night off after it's bourbon night. So, and I appreciate that. And there's 23 people in here still listening to my bullshit. See what we got here. Yeah, there you go, Cheech. Team Sean. Let's see. Thank you, Jim Morris, Bourbon. Yeah. If there's one left over, once things straighten out, we want a giant billboard in Michigan that says "Suck it, Dan Shook." That would be awesome. I don't know about a big billboard, but I will promise you guys, anybody that's seen one of my streams has seen what I usually that in the back. Sometimes I have some little lighted signs that says, things about Dan Shook, Suck It Shook, Rain Dan, various things like that. And I will get if everything ever works out to be able to do it, I'll get a big one. I'll get a bigger one, and it'll be on like Donkey Kong. Speaking of Dan Shook, one of the things that I wanted to definitely put out there was I had won something on the Junkies a couple weeks ago when I wasn't feeling too hot. And I sent him my address, but then he put it in the deal to print out the label, and it said that didn't exist. The apartment didn't exist. And I was like, that address that's on my YouTube, that if anybody wants to send me anything, or if anybody wants to, if they need advice on something or whatever the situation is, if you need to send something to me on my YouTube channel, there is an address that is actually a box at a storage place that, because I don't want people to send me something out of the kindness of their heart, samples or anything, a letter or anything else that might be delivered to my actual door, not into my regular mailbox, which is only like this big. It's not that big. It only holds just so much. That it be swiped or it be smashed or anything like that. So I opened up a box at a storage place, and that's what the address is. So he sent me an email. So I emailed him back, told him it was a box from a place, and I told him that I'd be off YouTube for a little bit. Maybe pop in here or there. I'd be lurking. I had to drop a bunch of Patreon stuff, personal stuff. I told him just basically in general, it was personal stuff I needed to get through. Maybe he sees this. I don't know if he watches me at all. Pretty sure he's not subscribed. So you guys need to get on his ass about that. But yeah, so, and he just said to me, and this is, we all know that he knows that it's banter, and he just told me to take care of myself and don't worry about all the other stuff, get all my stuff right. And then he'll see me when I get back. And I told him, P.S., don't worry, I'll be back to crush your dreams. So that's basically what that's basically what was the gist of that thing with Dan Shook. But as always, and I always do this and everybody knows, Dan Shook can bite me. So let's get back to the chat over here. See if I missed what I missed. That's all. There you go, DMC. That's funny. Nashville, it's always a blessing when Klein can't go on. And Kyoko, yeah, Sunday fun day. What was really the truth is that Brian, I was so happy for you today. I'm not in on every live you do, and even on Sundays, I only usually pop in or pop out. But to see that you had to literally 30 people on your live, 30 people watching you live. It was a good chunk of people watching you, just like here's, 20, it's fluctuating between 25 and 30 people. That was the first time I'd seen that in a while. And I'm glad that you're officially over 300 and it's not fluctuating back and forth from day to day. You were at 317 earlier. And if you're not subscribed to Mr. freaking Kilco, Whiskey Musings, his new name, make sure that you get over there and do that. One of the best guys as a person on Whiskey Tube, and also the fact that his content's great. The name Kilco Whiskey Musings literally fits Brian perfectly because that's what it's what he does. That it also. You're right, Mike. You're absolutely right. So. Okay, so are we? Is this privy? Are we privileged to the information, Mr. Cheech Ardolino? Are we getting Are we getting a freaking a scoop, a freaking heads up, freaking that you are going to go ahead and do your first live stream next weekend? Because if that to be the case, I hope that I want to be involved in some way, shape, or form. Because you just put in there maybe a teaser video before that. That's cool. I'm looking forward to it, sir. Is it the original plan that we came up with when we were on Ken's channel, where because you gig a lot on Saturdays, that you'll be doing the post game on Hot Buttery Rolls? I hope that because I just want to figure it out, because my plans right now are still to pregame HBR unless something else changes schedule wise. Truthfully, I'm thinking worst case scenario, I'm going to be on Graveyard, which means I'll be going in at 11 at night Pacific, which is 2 in the freaking morning East Coast. So I'll be able to go ahead and still be able to get sleep or whatever, and get up, not guaranteeing anything, go live on Saturday before Hot Buttery Rolls, be in on Hot Buttery Rolls for a little bit, and then get ready to go to work, if that be the case, if I have to work on a Saturday night. But if I don't, because it looks like the way they schedule things over there, they'd rather have someone be working Sunday night than Saturday night, because it's a weird schedule over there. So there's a lot of things I could probably work out. Cool. So you guys heard it here. The 23 people in chat. Well, if we take away Jen and Cheech and me, that's the 20 people that are left. Keep an eye out for Cheech going live next weekend. Post Hot Buttery Rolls. I look forward to it. My plans are at this time, because the truth is, like I said, if Bobby hadn't told me to do this, I would not be here right now doing this live. And I probably wouldn't have done another live next week either. I would have been too far inside my head again. But now this makes me, I feel good right now. I'm not, my worry where I was at yesterday, like people saw me on the stream, people saw me how, and even on this so far tonight, being able to talk about this to the individuals I talked to today and to y'all that are willing to sit here and listen to me talk about this makes me feel so much better. In the last 24 hours, I went from being mad that I woke up. And it's hard to say that. Not that I wanted anything to happen to me. I have a son and a grandson that I need to get in touch with because I have been out of touch with them for a little while because of my head. But when I went to sleep, I had no expectations of the next day. Period. I'd go to sleep because, it's time to go to sleep, and I have no reason to get up tomorrow. So if I do, I do. If I don't, I hope I told everybody that needed to know that I love them, that I love them. And this morning, last night I went to bed about 2 a.m. here. I woke up at about 7:30 and was ready to get up. Didn't have any plans for the day, but I was ready to get up. I was ready to start doing some stuff. I didn't do a whole lot. I really didn't. Nothing. Not a whole lot until I kind of just like tooled around, watched some YouTube, caught up on some whiskey videos that I ignored over the past couple of weeks, or I just didn't get into because I just kind of I watched this rant. I just basically put YouTube on random and just watch stuff just to have sound. That's all it was just sound to me. I wasn't paying attention to shit. But like I said, from yesterday to today was amazing to me. It's probably one of the best 2 days I've had in a really, really long time. And it's because of you, all of you. The people that are here, the people that were on Chris's chat last night, the people that subscribe to me on Instagram, the people that subscribe to me here that aren't here. It's great. I feel good. I hope to God, I hope that everything works out for me. But I know if it's not going to work out immediately, if it doesn't work out, I can't expect it to work out immediately. I can't expect things to just be perfect all the time. I know this, and I can't expect to walk in tomorrow to that HR and be able to walk out saying I got a job. But I know that if I walk in there, that there's nothing they can throw at me or say to me that's going to make me think that I can't get a job. And everything will be all right. I guarantee it. But yeah, like I said, I appreciate all y'all. Yeah. That's what I was saying earlier, Jim. Cheech Artolino, you're over 100 subscribers with no content. Is that a YouTube record? I've never seen anybody do it. Now, if he had 1,000 with no content, he'd be a freaking a YouTube legend forever. But he is. That's the thing about this and the title of the video, which I haven't really. I've been talking about it around it, but I haven't said it. Community. Now, if you don't know, if nobody's ever watched the TV show, you won't recognize the thumbnail as a couple of characters from Community, and my face is in their place. But that's what I'm doing. I did the update, I did my shout outs, but now it's time for me, whether it be for the next however long people want to let me listen to my shit. Whiskey Community. Just so you know, it's pinned. Top of the chat is pinned. That is the link if you want to jump on. If you end up being backstage for a few minutes, forgive me. I might be in the middle, like Swami. Thank you for not getting impatient with me because you were back there for a little while. I will get, whoever, if anybody wants to jump on. Bobby, if you're still here, if you want to jump on, cool. I understand it's what time is it? So it's 10:20 East Coast. So he's in Ohio, which is still to me weird that it's East Coast. I always thought of it as Central for some reason. Hey, what's up, James? Whiskey Samurai. I shouted you out earlier about that, and thank you for your donation and stuff. And we will be talking soon. I can't promise it tonight, and I can't necessarily promise it tomorrow because I got some things, employment and personal stuff I got going on tomorrow, but we will talk very, very soon, sir. But the whiskey community. Two communities and two things that I've been involved with in my entire life that we don't talk politics, we don't talk religion or anything else. So, and I'm not going to, but when I say karma is real, I believe in it. And I've never been in a church community, so I can't say anything about that. The two communities in my life that I have been involved with that are very, very closely knit in principles is this community here on Whiskey Tube and on Whiskeygram and the military. When you're in the military, everybody's your brother, no matter what branch they're in, no matter how much shit you give them. It's your job to bust their balls. If you're not busting your balls, then you're not doing your job as a friggin' being in the military. You've always got each other's back. You always got each other's six. You got each other's back. It's a different language. Right now, I just saw the Jack Daniel's single barrel proof. JDSI BP, was it? Yeah, BBP. That's a language. Just like the military, where we say Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, freaking whatever, Whiskey Tango Hendo, which would actually be hotel. But there's a language that's associated with. There's a principle behind it. In the military, it's called whether it be a code of conduct or your general orders. There is a code of conduct and a set of unwritten general orders that happen to come along with the whiskey community. And you will always be held and supported by those people in both of those communities. And those people are your brothers and sisters, and those people you forever will be linked in some way, shape, or form. And whether I'm here or somewhere else, I'm sorry, Adam. I will get with. Please give me a second. I'm sorry. When you're that community is real, and here on Whiskey Tube, in the whiskey community, it's amazing what people have done for people, and what people do to go out of the way to just check up on a guy who's on a freaking YouTube channel or somebody that's in a chat. And there's no one can tell me that there's another community outside of this. I mean, other than the military, to myself, at least. For me, nobody can tell me there's another community, another YouTube community, another Instagram community, another freaking general community. Even I was involved in drag racing my entire life because my dad was a drag racer. And that's a close-knit freaking, seriously close-knit freaking family. But this is even more than that. That's what I'm trying to say. This community, I don't think, it's almost, I know there's tens of thousands of people involved in this community, but there's a very small group of people that are in this chat that are on the channels that we all watch, the Whiskey Crusaders and the Junkies and all this other stuff. You see all the same names. That community, and everybody's always welcome and everything else, but everybody knows there's a community here that's unlike anything else anywhere. And like I said, it warms my heart. It freaking makes me, like I said, especially in the last 24 hours, be glad to be freaking involved in it, to be a part of it. And I've only been, and the God's honest truth is I've been a part of it since last February. It's been a year, literally just over a year since I started watching the videos and getting in the chats. And I think it's probably within the next few weeks is when I actually really started getting involved in going out and buying a couple bottles and all that other stuff. And then I bought a bunch of taters and all that bullshit like everybody else does. And then I had to pace myself after that. I got let go. So between February and May, I bought a decent amount of freaking bottles and stuff. And I was picking up one every here and there. And when there was a good deal and stuff like that. And I've had I've had samples sent to me, and I still have a bunch of them I still got to go through, and still always accepting samples, and never turn those down. But for someone to jump out, oh yeah, Bourbon. I'm very, Stu, I am so sorry. I thought I did. I thought I sent you I thought I gave you my address. Okay, so yeah. So on DM me. Okay. I have to figure out how much. You need to tell me how much I'm going to owe you, and I'll have to figure out how I'm going to get you paid back for it. But if you go on my YouTube channel, on the channel for this, go to the About tab, click About. There's an address in there, 1096 Calamasa Boulevard, number 301. That's the address that you send it to. And if you want to hold on to it until I can send you the money for it, then cool. No problem with that. Yeah. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. And that's, the address is there on the About tab. Thank you very much. And thank you for anybody that has sent me anything recently. I guess I would be spoiling it, but Shane, is that Special Reserve already sent out, or because I never informed the person that it was coming. So if you have or haven't, just say something to me real quick. But yeah, so yeah, and then Hendo is hooked, Hendo and Mag 57, Texas Whiskey, over on Insta, well, here and on Instagram. Thank you for your okay. When did you send it, by the way? And I'll ask Brian. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Brian, I guess we're kind of like on the same wavelength of this is kind of like you said, you do therapy, but this is also your therapy. And right now this is my therapy right now, what we're doing right now. It helps. It's literally helping me so freaking much. But all right, I'm gonna go ahead and bring on Mr. Whiskey Shits. Okay, and so Brian, okay, I'm glad that that Shane told you that Shane contacted you about it or whatever. Thank you for taking care of that, Shane. So this is Mr. Whiskey Shits, and I could tell. I guess I could say his real name, but I'll go ahead and welcome Adam on. What's up, sir?
Hey, what's up, buddy? How you doing?
I'm doing like I said, I'm doing better today than I was yesterday or the day before. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be doing a hell of a lot better if I find out I got a job. But thank you again for last night. But like I said, appreciate, like I said, we literally off of a stream a few weeks ago kind of hung out for a little bit afterwards and talked and just about freaking just general whiskey and life bullshit. And I appreciate you doing that with me. You didn't know at that point in time that I was still like I was the depression I was going through because like I said, I put on the YouTube face or whatever. But those conversations helped me continue to be able to do stuff and everything else. So I appreciate you in that. And thank you again.
Happy to help.
So, I got to remember I'm on a half screen here. So how's it been? How's it been with you? How you doing? Freaking driving a lot still right now, or?
No, I'm kind of out of work at the moment. Not like jobless, out of work, but just more or less going through some other personal shit. But everything's going good, man. I'm about to relocate to Salt Lake City from Southern Utah. So.
Well, yeah, okay. So Southern Utah to Salt Lake City is that really that much of a relocation? I mean, what?
Not much. 4 hours. So I mean,
is it?
Yeah.
So what? You were in St. George, or?
Yep.
Okay. Because I'm sitting there trying to figure out like St. George to yeah. So it is about 4 hours. Yeah. So because Adriana. Whiskey Mountains on YouTube, but she lives in Salt Lake. She hikes around there and does her whiskey reviews in the mountains surrounding Salt Lake City and on trails and stuff like that. She stops and just does a whiskey review and then does a review of her hiking trails and stuff like that, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've been watching her episodes lately.
yeah, and then I've got friends and stuff that live in Salt Lake, people I went to high school with, and everything else. But and heck, you're gonna be in Salt Lake. Maybe you'll run into Post Malone. He lives there, so.
Yeah.
But yeah. So so the Roop obviously knows who you are because he just shouted at you. The Roop is a name that came up in a chat a few weeks ago, about the same time that we were in a chat, we were in a live together, whatever else. And ever since then, I've seen him in all the freaking chats, and including my own. And I'm trying to figure out if it's somebody I already know that just had changed his name, or if
that is honestly.
Okay. I thought maybe you might know, because you got people like Barn Door who changes his name every week or anytime, freaking just to or puts starts typing freaking messages from like 7 different accounts at one time and stuff like that. So
yeah,
but
if you know me personally, the Roop, shoot me a message.
But yeah, so I know you're Mr. Whiskey Shits, and I'm sorry, I said your name, Adam, Adam, but your last name's freaking bitching because freaking, it's Priest, and Priest is freaking an awesome freaking band, which we've, but yes, but I just think it's funny that when you started showing up in the chats more often, like the Junkies and with Hot Buttery Rolls, especially when you first came on Hot Buttery Rolls as Mr. Whiskey Shits, to see his face light up because he thought your name was the greatest name that's ever been freaking used on YouTube. It's just it was just really freaking cool. And then, like I said, it's just another part of my vocabulary now. I don't feel like somebody says, well, who the hell's, who the hell is that? And I said, Mr. Whiskey Shit. You don't know Mr. Whiskey Shits? Freaking, he's everywhere now.
We have a handle, right? Like that's just my handle.
Yeah. I mean, for the longest time, I just went with, my name. But then when I started the channel, I switched over to the mash bill. And what's really funny is that when I was just going by Stanley Wagner Jr., that's where every time everybody said anything to me on a live, it was always, hey, there's Stanley Wagner Jr. Then I changed my name to the mash bill. Then it was like, oh, that's Stanley Wagner Jr., the mash bill. And then everybody started calling me Swags. Like immediately, Scott from My Bourbon Journey called me Wags. And then it turned into Wags and Swags. And now everybody calls me Swags. And I'm like, okay, well, but I put the mash bill to have a handle, and it's just like, and then because my name's Stan Wagner, S. Wagner,
yeah,
people starts calling me Swagner, stuff like that. So, but
for sure, man.
Yeah, and so, but yeah, so like with Kilco, and the thing with Shane and Kilco, I was just talking about with Shane. I won a special reserve Weller from him a while ago. He reached out on one of the lives. He said, "Hey, I owe you a freaking bottle from this live or whatever." And I'm like, "Oh shit, I'm sorry, I never gave you I thought they gave you my address or whatever, and I completely forgot about it." And myself personally, I have a couple of special reserves, so I don't necessarily need another one. And my go-to person to make sure to send a bottle to, if I get a chance, when I have a chance, is Kilco, because that's how I support him, is I help him out when I have the chance to help him out. So I just told Shane, you know what, here, I'll get his address for you. We'll reach out and I'll tell him that he will be getting a bottle at it at whatever point in time. So, so Shane's taking care of that, and I appreciate that, Shane. And yes, Kilco, freaking even, enjoy it. It's something else that you haven't had. So at least it'll be something new.
Hey, Jim Morris, Whiskey Tube isn't supposed to be family friendly anyway. It's 21 plus, buddy. So,
oh yeah. If Jim Morris has ever been on anything past the first hour of the Junkies or freaking the first hour of Hot Buttery Rolls, I think there's like everybody throws in that buffer of like the first hour if they have a 2 or 3 hour stream. That first hour is semi-family friendly because it's usually during that family friendly 8 o'clock hour across the board or whatever. But once it hits that freaking prime time gap, it turns into sorry to say it, but Jim Morris, but a shit show. It always does everywhere. And you know what's really bad is that sometimes it's not even what's on the screen. The chat gets freaking a little bit crazy. But yeah, so
funny.
But,
so I gave away those bottles last night on the stream. The Smoke Wagon Uncut Unfiltered, I placed the order for it like right before I gave that away. So I placed it because I wanted a backup, but it was a good time, man. I was having fun, so I'm like, all right, I'll give it away. And Sherry G hit me up already, so that's coming to you, Sherry.
And you know what? I appreciate that. That was see, the thing is I know the original story about the first bottle you bought, the bottle you got, because we had talked about that you were going down to Vegas and you were picking that stuff up, and then you got back and you told me, you got back and told me that you got the bottles and everything else and what you got, and I was sitting there going, he only got one bottle. Where did the other bottle come from? Because I hadn't seen anything that he posted that he went back, that he'd made another trip to Vegas or whatever, and then you were giving it away. I'm like, holy, I hope to God that he freaking isn't giving away a bottle that he went out of his way so far to get. And I appreciate you believe me, I appreciate it more than you know. Everybody that donated bottles or money or anything else to what happened last night was, oh man, that's just, like I said, it's amazing. It's amazing that people do that.
Yeah, man. And I'm actually going to pick it up tomorrow morning. I'm going to run down and hopefully find some other cool shit too. So
what, you're going to go to you're going to Vegas tomorrow?
Yeah, 2-hour drive. So not too bad.
Oh, okay.
I'm coming back with a big haul tomorrow.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad that you're going to get yourself all taken care of stuff. Are you doing did you order, what was it, just liquor lineup, and or did you end up going to Corey's? Or
I'm gonna go to Corey's tomorrow. I didn't go there last time. I'm gonna go tomorrow, and they have a couple store picks that I want, and I'm gonna see if they got anything else worth grabbing. But yeah, I'm hitting liquor lineup. That's where I ordered the Smoke Wagon from, and I'm hoping they get a new order in so I can grab another backup. But and then there's this other little hole in the wall just outside of Vegas that's where I picked up my Midwinter Nights Dram Act 8 or Scene. What is it? Scene 8?
Yeah, Act 8 Scene, whatever it could be one. Yeah.
Yeah, Act 8. So I scooped that up there. That's where I seen a freaking Weller 12 for like $300. I'm like, fuck.
But yeah, so with that, well, let's put it this way: when you go to Corey's, if they have any left, I've had mine for a couple months now, so they might not have any left. But if they have one of their Frey Ranch barrel strength store picks,
Yeah. So I
that is.
plan on getting one from them. I plan on getting another one from Liquor Lineup, and then I plan on hitting Lee's and Mesquite and getting one from them too. Because I was in there last weekend and they had one, so I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna snag that. So I'm gonna have 3 different ones that I'm gonna pick up and try. So
Okay, because I was gonna say if for some reason Corey's didn't have it, and you didn't have other Frey Ranches or whatever, or if you don't get the one from Corey's, I still do have mine, and I can get you a sample of that sent to you, so you can, if you got the other bottles but Corey's is out, I can get you samples so you still get to try the 3 different ones and see if there is a difference between the 3. But
yeah, yours
yes.
is from.
What's that?
Yours is from Cali.
No, mine's from Corey's in Vegas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if I get all 3, I'll send you the other 2 so you can try that too.
All right, that's cool.
Try them head to head.
Yeah, the I don't know if you're involved on Instagram or not, but one of my friends, his name's John. He's the Whiskey Neanderthal. He's actually celebrating his birthday right now with a bunch of people that flew in from different places to Vegas this weekend. They're there right now celebrating his birthday. But him and Sleepless Kimmy, the wheelchair whiskey hunter, she's over on Instagram too. They're basically part of my Instagram family, and they go to Vegas every few months and pick up stuff from Liquor Lineup and Lee's and various other places where they order stuff, and they just make one big haul, and then they go do they spend a couple days in Vegas, one day for them and one day for hunting. And the last time they went up, they picked me up that Frey Ranch from Corey's, and then I do have once I get all this other stuff situated, and once you get back, we'll talk. After you get back from Vegas and after I get this other stuff figured out. We'll link up over the next week or so, but I'll send you a Eagle Rare store pick that I have. I'll send you one. I have a couple for my. I've got backups and a couple of extra ones that I'm saving for a giveaway at some point in time if I ever get to the 1K, and then anywhere, and then the other. I'll go ahead and send that. I'll send you that because I know that Eagle Rare isn't something that you get a hold of a lot, and store picks are probably hard to come by.
So we don't get store picks at all here. So I've never tried a Eagle Rare store pick. So that would be awesome, man. We do get it here. We just get the 750 mils, and it's at retail. Get it for like $33. So that's nice.
Yes.
But I want to try the store pick. I've heard great things about them. So
yeah, I'll get like I said, I'll send you. We'll get together and we'll arrange it to where you can send me some samples or whatever, and then I'll send you that with another Eagle Rare store pick sample and we'll get things worked out. And anybody else that's here, anybody else that's in the chat or anybody else that follows me knows that if there's something that I have that you want a sample of, I have no problems getting it worked out. It's just going to take a little bit of time right now because trying to get all the rest of my life figured out.
I'm still trying to get you that Knob 12 too. It's hitting everywhere in the state, but it hasn't come south yet. So I think this week it's going to finally hit our store. So I'll snag a few, dude.
All right. That's cool. I appreciate that. We'll, like I said, we'll definitely touch base on all that. Okay. Yeah, that'll work too.
Yeah, I'll just trade with you, man.
All right, cool. That works. So yeah, we'll get that'll all get hooked up. Like I said, I appreciate that. So let's see. Is there anything? looks like there's a love affair between Cheech and Shane going on right now, because that's pretty much all that I see in the chat is them going back and forth. But
Ames. Yeah, I
uh,
think I have that same one, Shane. I think I have the Act 8, Scene 6, or Scene 5. I'm pretty sure it's Scene 6, though.
yeah, I haven't opened it yet. It's in my High West collection of bottles I still haven't opened. But I have Scene 8 Acts 8. I'm sorry, Act 8 Scene 5 is what I have. So, and I will get into that at some point in time and stuff. But okay, there you go. People are trying to pop off again now. So, yeah, that's Kilco. I'm in 100% agreement. At some point in time, I'm going to want to try the Blue Spot and which I found out from Jason on Mash and Drum last night. The new small batch cast strength Redbreast is an American release only, and it's only 2,000 bottles. So hopefully at some point in my life, after all this other shit clears up, I'll get a taste of that. Those are my Blue Spot and that Redbreast are pretty much up there at the top right now.
Yeah, that
I'm pretty
Blue
good on
Spot,
much anything else.
that Blue Spot hit liquor lineup, but it was like instantly gone. Like it was
Yeah.
there for half a day, dude. But they just got the JD rye, the barrel proof rye, and I'm hoping to grab one of those too.
Well, I hope you get one of those, because freaking those are really, really freaking hard to come. Really, really freaking hard to come by.
Yeah, dude. If they have one available, so it shows on their site. It just shows that it's already out of stock. So I don't know if it hit and went out or if it's hitting on Monday. Sometimes they'll post it a couple days before, so that it'll show on there, but it won't show available till the day that they release it. So hopefully.
Yeah. What's funny is like what just Kilco just said. He says, "Got to catch them all," which is a reference to Pokemon. Got to catch them all. I know that because I have nephews. But that's what these whiskeys, those particular ones, like the JD freaking rye, those bottles we talk about and stuff like that, the ones you're going to drive 2 hours to hope that they're still that they're there or not there.
Really,
You gotta
really
catch, yeah, got to catch them all. Yeah, and then, but yeah, like I said, the community thing is freaking, it's freaking amazing. I'm glad to be a part of it. I'm glad to know the people that I know from it. Even Shane Long, us, I guess it's all right that I know him too. But
Hey, Shane, I won your High West pick last night. I'm ready for that, buddy. I've never had a High West pick, so I'm hoping to scoop one of those tomorrow at Corey's also.
yeah. So when it comes to High West picks, just a heads up, check when you look at it, check the finish. If it's an American Prairie or it's a double rye, store pick, check the finish and see if it's a finish that you're interested in before buying it, or if you're at a store where they have samples or whatever, like they have a bottle to sample something from or whatever, or they can give you an idea of, because some people don't know what like Risaltis. There's like so many different finishes that they use, and people don't know what they are. The one that I have is the last one that I opened up was the one I recently got, which was the rum cask American Prairie. which is actually really good. But they got like PX Sherry. There's so many different freaking finishes. But
Yeah.
but
I would love to try cask ones. Those sound delicious.
So, and like I said, these are things that we will talk once I get everything back to normal or into a kind of normal. We'll go a little bit deeper into my my high west finishes and stuff like that, and we'll get to like I said with everybody else too. I have no problem trading samples and anything else. Just got to get back online before I start trying to do that. Can't put too many eggs in one basket right now. Got to just keep my eye on the prize right now, especially since so many people helped me out last night.
Oh, Shane's saying that was somebody else. Sorry, I thought Hot Buttery Roll said you were the guy. So I just emailed him earlier.
Yeah, you know what? Truthfully, Hot Buttery Rolls wrote down. Well, okay. So he's going to have to take his list of the winners and get with Josh, which had the list of the bottles and who donated them, and get them lined back up, because I'm sure right after the stream stop last night, Josh left. So I don't know what information got passed between them, or if it's one of those things where I'll go ahead and send it to you tomorrow and then whatever. But I know that they were both working off their phones with two different lists. One was the bottles and one was the winners. So there might be a little bit of overlap or whatever like that, but they always get it figured out. But like and again, Chris, I know you're not in here right now, but if you get a chance to watch this at a later time, shout out to you and Josh for doing that for me last night, for Amy understanding that you were doing that while it was a live that was supposed to feature her and stuff like that. But that was something that I won't say not a lot of other people would do for me, because I found out in the last 24 hours that, guess what? A lot of people would do a lot for me. So I can't say I wouldn't, but for Chris to go ahead and go from I'm not doing a giveaway to give me your Venmo and PayPal, track who sends you money, and then me not knowing exactly what he was doing, say I'm going to give away a bottle. He says I'm just going to give away a bottle, and then that turned into 14 bottles eventually, plus the other one that Shane threw in that will be in a giveaway probably next week, because of just the way they had set it up and situated it and everything else. They wanted to verify that they made it to a certain goal before that was given out, and then but it will be given out and stuff like that. But yeah, so it's one of those things where it's like, cool.
Bourbon Beginning said it was him that I won the bottle from. So shoot me an email, mrwhiskeyshits@gmail.com, and I'll send you my address.
Yeah.
No E in whiskey.
Yeah, no E in whiskey. Yeah. So Mr. Whiskey Shits, if Ruben doesn't contact you, or Bourbon Beginnings doesn't contact you, or doesn't get in touch with you within a few days or whatever, you can DM me over on Instagram and whatever, or you can go
email you.
You can email me, yes, that, and also if you are on Facebook at all, Ruben is okay. I was saying, because Ruben is in the Hot Buttery Roll. Bourbon Beginnings is on there, and he goes live on there all the time, so he's easy to get in touch with that way also. But yeah, you can just email me, and then I'll I'll get him. We'll get everything worked out.
Yeah, and I don't know who won my early times bottled and bond, so I don't know if they're in the chat tonight or not, but hit me up.
Wait, Ruben, did you win the early? No, wait, Ruben didn't. Hold on a second. Oh, wait a second. I believe. Hold on. Where's the list of?
Yeah, Bourbon. Liquor Lineup is a very popular store in North Vegas. They have store picks, and they still have a lot of those Frey Ranch store picks on the shelf. I can't remember the proof on them. I think it was like 129ish. But there's also a place called Corey's, which is spelled weird. It's KHOUREYS. Look them up. They have store picks as well. I was gonna ask you, Stanley, have you tried Old Scout store picks?
Yeah, I have. They're okay. They are different. Each one of them is different. I've tasted a few. I've owned two. The one bottle that I actually drank,
like younger MGP, right?
Okay, so before yes, they're okay. So depending on what batch it is, it's either MGP or there is one, I believe, one or two batches that are Dickel, and then there's one that's a blended, which is MGP and Dickel. The easiest, basically the easiest way is just like anything else. If you want to know that if it's MGP, is every Old Scout bottle, as soon as you turn it around and you look at the bottom of the label, it'll say Indiana or it'll say Kentucky. It'll say Tennessee. Right. If it says Tennessee, if it says anything in Tennessee, it's Dickel. And if it's Indiana, it's MGP.
So what do you think of them?
I like them. I have the ones here in California, the ones that I've gotten here in California. I have one that I haven't opened. I have a Dickel Bevmo pick. For it's a Old Scout 107 that I haven't opened up. So I don't know. But then again, I'm not a fan of freaking Jack Daniels, but I have drank George Dickel in the past when I was younger, and it doesn't bother me. And I know that I've had a couple of single barrel or store pick George Dickels within the last year or so that they weren't great, but they weren't bad at all. They just weren't for me. I wasn't going to go out. I'm not going to go out and pursue the bottle. But the Old Scout MGPs that I've had have all been good. There's not, and that's I want to say 4 to 5 year MGP, somewhere around there.
Liquor Lineup has 5-year ones right now, and I bought 2 of them, so that's good to hear that they're good because I've never tried one. But
yeah, so
Corey's has a 6-year, so I'm gonna go scoop one of those too. Possibly 2, but I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, and then the Corey. Unfortunately, if anybody's trying to find quarries to look for something, they don't deliver out of the state presently. Same with Liquor Lineup. There's something about freaking Las Vegas being able to get anything to get shipped out of there.
If anybody is interested in something in Vegas, I'll be there tomorrow. Hit up my email tonight, mrwhiskeyshits@gmail.com. Assure me that you want a certain thing and that you're willing to pay whatever, and I'll scoop it up for you. Seriously. So
So that's so you can check out it's Lee's. Lee's is the hardest one to actually check out online because there's so many different stores, and also
Yeah,
even if you
I'm not a
and
fan of
you,
Lee's, honestly. The
yeah,
only reason I'm going to Lee's is for that Frey Ranch
yeah,
barrel pick. Other than that, they had a Weller Special Reserve for what was it,
yeah,
$100, Antique 107 for like 150 or something like that. I'm
yeah.
like, I did get a 1792 bottled and bond pick from them, but even that wasn't great. So yeah, I'm not a big Lee's fan. But if you find something at Liquor Lineup or Corey's that you want, I'll be there tomorrow.
So liquor lineup is it's really easy. It's just liquorlineup.com. They
Yeah, they're really good about updating their site too. Like they update real quick when they run out because they get those Smoke Wagon uncut unfilters. They get them all the time, but they're constantly running out. So
yeah.
you'll go to order and it'll show right when they run out. Like it'll show it is sold out. So yeah, if you're interested in something there, if it's something like that where they're running out and I can't scoop it up, like I'll try at another place for you. But other than that, I did get two of the Redemption 10. What is it? The barrel proofs.
Yeah.
I tried to buy more, but I think I bought the last two. So I got one for, but I couldn't get one for J Pit.
Okay, so just a heads up to everybody. You know what? Actually, I'll just go ahead and put it in the chat. It's Corey's Fine Wine.
Yeah. Hey, what are your thoughts on the Frey Ranch picks? Bourbon's asking about it, asking what we think of them. So I just had the one from Liquor Lineup, and honestly, I enjoyed it, but I think it's probably a younger whiskey. So I get like really like fresh apples on it and all that, and it's good, but maybe it's a little too young. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's it's a little bit younger. This is we're talking. I want to say I got to look at the label, but it's a little bit younger.
5 years, dude.
Yeah, it's not. I think it's like right at the 4 to 5 threshold.
Yeah.
I like it myself personally. It's hot. I mean, it's not burning hot. It's not to that point where it's not cat's eye light whiskey or freaking burnt hot, but it's got a little grab on it. I like it a lot. Everybody that I know that's got a Frey Ranch, even the junkies, they've done their they've go to the junkie. If you go to the junkies page, and I believe if you go to, I think that Chris has also done it. Checked it out. I believe that Jason from Mash and Drum is, if he hasn't already, is soon going to do a freaking review on it. And I'm pretty sure that Klein has brought it up before too. But you can look up Frey Ranch reviews on. There's a lot. I think there's a few of them, but the one Junkies did a Frey Ranch review a few months ago on a store pick. So yeah, I would check that out. Because I trust their palates. They are really good about what they've done. What I've bought that they've reviewed, store pick wise, stuff like that, has been a really good thing. But
yeah, I tried to get one for Jason, but we couldn't connect on it. It was a couple of months ago when he was going through shit with like his grandma, I believe.
Yeah.
I'm trying to help him out with that so he could get that and try it. I mean, I liked it. I enjoyed enjoyed the bottle. I'm pretty much done with my one that I got, but I wouldn't say it's like amazing. I would pick any Elijah Craig pick or barrel proof over it that I've had.
But we had this discussion before. There's not you can't go wrong with anything. I'm sorry, guys. No matter the worst Elijah Craig is still not going wrong. You're not going wrong with if you put all of them in a blind flight, the 94s, everything else, the worst one still isn't bad. And speaking of that,
have you tried the A121?
No, I haven't got a hold of one because I haven't got a hold of one yet, and because they really haven't. The couple drops that have been here in Southern California have been good old boy drops. You don't find out to them until they're already gone. I know that I'll get a hold of some someday, but like right now, it's just not in my it's not in my future. But
let me know if you.
What's that?
Let me know if you need a sample. I got an extra bottle, so.
Okay, cool. So Matt just announced ADHD Whiskey. He just announced to the Patreons the other day that somebody sent him, I can't remember who it was, sent him flights of every barrel proof Elijah Craig from A117 to A121.
Wow.
Sent samples to him, so he's going to be doing a mega freaking blind flight of the last 4 years of Elijah. 5 years now. 4 years plus the 121. So so you're talking what? Yeah, you're talking freaking 13 or 14 bottles. So.
Yeah, the first one I tried was the C919, and that thing was amazing.
Yeah.
Now I buy backups for all of mine. I have an extra of the C920 and an extra A121.
That's cool. So just a real quick, so anybody that's, like he said, that wants to get in touch with him, it's Mr. Whiskey. There's no E in Whiskey Shits. But Mr. Whiskey Shits at gmail.com. If you want to get something from Quarries, the link, I put it in the freaking chat. Go to the website, click shop online, and then you can go down through right now it says they're still not doing shipping to anywhere. They weren't doing shipping before. I don't know if they're ever going to be actually doing shipping. But if you find something on the website that you can tell Mr. Whiskey Shits what you want, and that the prices are right there in front of you, it's just going to be that plus shipping, as far as I know, right?
Yep.
So the price of the bottle and tax plus shipping, and he can pick it up for you. So just go through. If you see anything that you want him to grab you, please reach out to him. It's all about making sure that it's all about getting people things that they need.
Things that they want to try, like something like that Frey Ranch. You're not going to see a lot of that out east, I'm sure. I think only Nevada and California got those store picks, so it was only like 8 barrels.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is that if Corey's does have, it's been a couple of months, and they were literally like them and Liquor Lineup were the first 2 places to get the first batch of freaking barrel picks. And I know that Liquor Lineup, they had theirs for a while, for like this is one of the few bottles that made it to like over that 4 week period, because usually anything they get, it's about 2 to 3 weeks and they're sold out at the max. That's the one that went a little bit longer, but then a few of the channels and a few of the Instagrammers started shouting out Frey Ranch, and like anything else, because it's such a small distillery, small footprint. Shoot, everybody freaking went and grabbed everything. And then these last set of store picks, I know Corey's had done they got basically the rest of the batch. Finally, at some point in time, they got the rest of the batch of the original ones they were doing, but I didn't know if they still had any in stock or not. But
yeah,
there's a few out there, and oh wow, Matt, ADHD whiskey, I whiskey she wines. Wow, Swami's back. So
get on the line.
So anybody that the links in the top of the chat if they want to jump on. To those of you that surprised to see me on a Sunday night or surprised to see me since I've been gone for 2 weeks. I explained it earlier tonight. You can go back and check out yesterday's Hot Buttery Rolls live. There's a little bit more insight if you don't want to, hang around right now. But I went through some stuff happened to me personally. I'm in the middle of trying to get a job again. Finally, my palsy finally is at a point where I can actually go back to work, and some other personal stuff and financial stuff happened to me. And I went to Chris to talk to him about it, and they ended up doing a stream for me last night and raised enough money for me to get another month of having a roof over my head while I'm still looking for a job, which I already had an interview and I'm supposed to go talk to their HR representative tomorrow. But let's just say it started out with one bottle. It ended up being 15 bottles that ended up being in a giveaway. And I haven't checked anything in a little bit, but it was over $2,000 they raised for me last night.
Hey, Bobby, we don't mind if your bra's off, buddy.
But yeah, well, you got to remember too, either way, if either one, if he comes on, it might still be kind of PG, a little bit of PG, but she comes on, we're screwed. It's PG's gone out the freaking door. I love you guys, freaking, and Swami's back, and so just in general, that's what for Matt and I whiskey she wine stuff. That's basically what's in general going on. If you want to support the channel or support me right now in this time in my my life, my Venmo and my PayPal are both at the bottom, but I don't request any. I'm not requesting anybody to do so. It's just there if you want to help at all. So yeah, Bobby, I kind of want to see you without your bra, but that's just that's
gotta
good
be
energy.
Sam. It's got to be Sam, right?
Well, yeah, I'm sure that it is Sam, because Bobby doesn't say things like that in the chat, and Sam is Sam.
I heard somebody else saying it was Bobby, and I'm like, what? And then they said that. I'm like, okay, Bobby.
Yeah, it's just somebody messing with it because he's saying that she was saying that she couldn't come on. She just got out of her bra or whatever. Kilco put, look at it. Here's someone. Kilco to I whiskey she wines. Bras are so 2019, as are
Totally.
pants.
just do a headshot, Sam. You don't have to get all the way back. Just zoom in on the face.
Let's see. I'm watching you in hockey. Wait a second. You're in freaking Montreal.
Yeah, Bobby is born.
Well, no, I'm sorry. Swami, 2 wheels down. He says, I'm watching you and hockey. Must be hockey highlights because I'm sorry, West Coast feed. I'm sorry. You're not he watches Edmonton, I guess. I don't remember who his team is off the top of my head. Ottawa might be playing West Coast or something. That's why.
What's everybody drinking? I know I know the mash bill Stanley Wagner isn't drinking anything. I got Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel.
Hey, guess what? Oh no, Sens versus Calgary. Well, okay, so it's still not 11:30 at night or whatever like it is in Montreal. It's freaking it's mountain time, so it's freaking 2 hours before, so it's like nine-ish there. But here, look at this freaking. It's Sam. It's not fucking Bobby. He's boring.
Bobby's boring as fuck.
By the way, just to Sam and pass it on to Bobby or whatever. You're let's see. Not Shane. Shane's okay. Shane Long. Shane, thank you very much. Y'all got some alone time scheduled in 15 minutes. I need to get ready for. Okay. So yeah, Shane, thank you for coming in the chat tonight. Thank you for everything you've done for me personally, just talking to me and being on stuff with me, and what you did for me in the last couple of days. I appreciate it. Good night.
Yeah.
And
I know I didn't win that bottle from you, but I still want something, damn it.
Let's see. Whiskey Samurai James is here we go. He's on a 12-year. Oh well, a Knob Creek 12-year. Wow. One of somebody else's favorite things to drink. What is his name? Oh, Mr. Whiskey Shits. That's right. And he's got him a C920 also. So you're right there in Mr. Whiskey Shits alley with the Knob Creek and the barrel proof freaking Elijah Craig.
Hell
okay.
Yeah.
So Bourbon, Mr. Whiskey, did you try the Liquor Lineup expensive Whistle Pig pick with the Epic label?
I'm debating picking that up. So it's $190. I think I'm gonna grab it unless I spend too much at Corey's. So I'm gonna go to Corey's first. Well, I'm gonna hit my little hole in the wall, and then I'm gonna go to Corey's, and then I'm gonna hit Liquor Lineup. So if I still got enough money, I'm gonna scoop up that Whistle Pig pick because I've never tried a Whistle Pig 15. I've heard great things about them. Just that price, man. Like I never spent over, I think, $120 on a bottle. So
Yeah. And truthfully, I mean, for me, I can say that I've spent that much on a bottle, but the two bottles that I've bought at that price, at that 180-ish range, I might have more than just the two bottles, but freaking the two major bottles that I bought at that range were both Old Carters, and that though, like the one between 189, the 179 to 189 range, and they're fucking Old Carters, and that's what they cost.
if you're gonna send me any samples and you have any Carter available, that's the sample I want.
Okay.
I don't want any High West pick or anything like that. I'd rather have an Old Carter. But
yeah, that's not a problem.
Bourbon, you're right. That label is amazing. It's from Wolf of Wall Street. It's anybody wondering, go to Liquor Lineup's website and look at their Whistle Pig 15 store pick. It's like a Wolf of Wall Street. It's where Leonardo DiCaprio is like kind of begging for sex. So it's amazing.
Okay, so let's go ahead and add somebody else in here. Anybody else that wants to jump on, go ahead and jump on. We're into that third hour, that shit show hour, as you like. But there we go, Mr. Swami.
Cheers,
drinking. Cheers! I'm drinking some really, really snooty shit right now. So Jeremy Sipper Social Club sent me some beers. And of course, it's Jeremy Sipper Social Club, so it's got to be some really snobby, overly priced shit. It's Malvoyant, Belvoyance. It's 2020 French Calvados Apple Brandy Aged Imperial Stout at 11.9%, and it like costs like $30 a bottle, and he sent me like 4 of them.
Oh,
So makes Bourbon County look like fucking poor man's shit.
Yeah, that's like that Bourbon County, dude. Those are so pricey. I've
Ridiculous.
never tried them, but man,
I don't like.
you
It's
buy,
not
like,
that.
a 6-pack, and you're in for what, 120 for a 6-pack of Bourbon County, or 150.
It's not that I have an issue with them. Like, I get they're good and shit, but they gotta make like tiny little balls. Because to me, it's like drinking. You ever drink like aged Porto, like a 10-year-old or a 12-year-old Porto?
I never.
I don't. Yeah, I don't drink freaking any of that stuff. I drink freaking Pacifico freaking Mexican beers.
Yeah.
I don't-
I'm saying like it's like drinking an entire glass of Porto to me, and like Porto's fine, like in a small little tiny like if you see a Porto glass is about like that big. You know, it's like a little thumble of like Porto, and you like sip on it. I mean, it's too rich, it's too decadent. And for me, when I want a beer, I want it to be refreshing. I like stuff, but I like my stuff to be refreshing. So
yeah.
Hey, Bourbon, if you think that Whistle Pig 15 is worth it, I'll plan on buying that for sure. And I'll send you a sample, Stanley.
Okay. I appreciate that. Me with Whistle Pig, the only thing I've ever had by them is those piglets, those little freaking the 10, 12, 15 year freaking or 13 year, whatever it is.
Mini
Piglets.
bottles.
Yeah. I mean, it's all right. I mean, it's not something that I would actively go out and say I have to have another one of or go get an actual full bottle of. And they're the Boss Hogs, I'm sorry, unless for some strange freaking reason at some point in my before I win a lottery, that those will never be in my freaking. I'm not gonna get one of those things.
we're talking about Boss Hog, Whistle Pig. They're
Yeah.
not very good.
The only ones that I know of people that said that was actually really really good was that the Samurai. The Samurai Scientist is the only one that I've heard that was any good.
Love in the Beard sent me a few years back. They sent me like a good like 3 different bottle samples of different Whistle Pig Boss Hogs, and they said to me for the purpose of just tasting it to see like the $350 whiskey isn't always great. It was like it tasted like only thing I could think of was wheat juice. It's pretty much what it like. If you go to the gym and they give you like that wheat juice shot. It tasted like that. It was horrible, and I was just like, why would someone spend $350 to drink something that that old expression that gives you a whiskey face, like when you go to the bar, you do that. Like, why would you spend $350 to do this? Like every time you do,
Which to me is really weird because
you get that for $5 booze. Like you don't need to go spend $350 to get that shit. Like
Yeah, it's official. I'll never buy a Boss Hog based on that review right there. So,
well, the other thing is too, they always get what gets me is the fact that those are all sourced from Alberta Premium, and they can't get one of those Boss Hogs. That, I mean, I know people have told me that they've literally had the cast strength Alberta Premium, and had a Boss Hog. And but
the Alberta Premium is weird because the Alberta Premium rye comes off nice and sweet. It's like for a rye, it's sweet, which is very like rare to have like a sweetness of it. But Alberta Premium comes off nice and sweet, and it still has its yeasty bread notes to it, but it's got a nice sweetness to it. Where the Boss Hog is just all pennies and sour notes and bitter. And it's just I don't know. It's not good. You got to have a little bit of sweetness in there, something to cut in. Can't all be, I like to call them like dare whiskeys. Like it can't always like be like, oh, it's the most disgusting thing in the world, but I, have to pretend I like it kind of shit. Like I actually want to like something when I drink it. I don't want to have to pretend I like something. Like I actually want to like something.
Well, it's like the 10-year store, the Whistle Pig 10-year store pick. Oh, I'm sorry about that.
No, you're good.
The Whistle Pig 10-year store picks, they here in Southern California, I don't know about anywhere else, they had this run where there was a secondary label put on there saying that it was actually 13 years, that there were 13 years packaged in 10-year bottles. and they were all store picks, and people were freaking literally going into stores and buying. There was like, if a store had no limit, they were buying every fucking one of them because they said it was like the best whistle pig that they actually ever had.
Yeah, but a
And-
lot of times when that shit's happening, they're not buying it to actually drink it. Though. They're buying it to resell. So of course they're going to say it's the best thing they ever had because it's like 10 seconds after they bought that bottle, they're on Facebook already selling it for 3 times of what they purchased it for. You know, and it's that's all whatever. Like I don't want to, even Rob and Jeremy did a show this week about whiskey prices and using whiskey as like an investment kind of thing like that. It works out because today people buy whatever like you tell them to buy, you know, and secondary market pricing is so astronomically high that like everyone's always going to say this whiskey is the best because everyone today is trying to sell their fucking whiskey. No one's actually purchasing their whiskey to actually drink their whiskey. When you're getting into that price range of bottles, yeah, some people say, "Oh, I always buy 2 bottles, one for myself and one for sale." Nah, when you know you can sell that bottle that you bought for $300 for $900, you're not drinking that bottle; you're reselling.
Yeah. It's just like,
So is Whistle Pig smart in a sense that they like self-hype
It's smart.
themselves?
Yeah, it's smart. It's smart to buy to sell to taters. Yeah, if you want to sell it to taters later on, so it's smart to buy. I'd say, but that's like for a lot of whiskeys, you know. Blanton's is smart to buy if you're going to resell. It's not smart to buy if you actually want to drink it.
yeah,
I get it at retail, so I don't mind.
but the real, you know what the real freaking moneymaker scam is? Blanton's minis. Because I've seen Blanton's mini bottles go for the price of a secondary price Blanton's. Like people paying $100 for that little fucking 50 milliliter freaking Blanton's bottle.
My favorite are the fuckers that sell open bottles. Like what the hell? Are you really gonna trust some dude you met off the internet to buy like a half bottle off them or some shit like that? Like unless you like know the person like face to face like a neighbor, those are the funniest when I see people like selling like open bottles online. I'm like, really?
You know, it's
trust
just some
the
other.
motherfucker enough to buy an open bottle off them? Fuck, you don't even know this person. Fuck.
You know, it's just some other fucking whiskey or at least a mix of shit in there, right?
It might be iced tea by the time you get it. Fuck, you don't know. Fuck.
Yeah, that's something that okay, so I knew that there was secondary market. What I didn't know is now there's a new what I'm calling the new secondary because it's starting to get bigger and bigger, especially over on Instagram.
Mhm.
Is the trade market. So now
trade is cool. I like the trade thing, especially if you're a reviewer. That's a good thing because it helps with the cost. So instead of let's say you've done a review on a bottle, you didn't really like it that much, but another reviewer wants the bottle to do a review on, you know, then you can say like, listen, I'm out of stock. I'd like to do some more reviews. What do you got? And you could trade the bottles out that way. That's chill.
now,
Especially
but yeah. So the thing is that like, okay, with me and Mr. Whiskey Shits over here, we just talked about, I have some Eagle Rare store picks that he can't get a hold of, and he's got some stuff that I need that this Knob Creek 12 year that he gets a hold of that I don't get. It's hard to find down here in Southern California. So we'll just trade straight across. He'll send me and I'll send him and it's all good to go. But there's this thing now on YouTube, on Instagram, where it's straight like okay, so I have a GTS 2020. Okay. Now, what are you willing to trade me to get this GTS 2020? Then there's open on air freaking live trade auctions going on where they're saying, here's the bottle. Who in the chat's willing to offer me? I'm looking for this, this, and this. Are you willing to go ahead and offer and trade for this bottle? And they're doing, instead of selling the bottle for freaking $500, $600, $700, they're taking the bottle
They're trading for other bottles. Yeah.
They're trading that for other bottles for, let's just say I have this GTS 2020. You have a freaking a gold freaking Blanton's, a Stag 15, and freaking whatever, a third bottle. Are you willing to trade those 3 bottles for this bottle? And they're not, there's no physical money changing hands. They're not selling it on secondary, but they're getting more value out of the trade than what they're trading with that person. So they're actually gaining from it, but they're not. So they still are pulling off secondary shit. They're just not physically getting somebody to pay secondary. They're getting people to trade for secondary. So it's a new. It's not a scam, because I know a few people that are doing it. They're followers of mine that I just recently realized that's what they do. They're pretty straightforward and straight across. I mean, it's like they're trading like GTS 2020s for freaking Eagle Rare 17s and
it
stuff
depends,
like
because
that.
value might be worth more to you if you're in an area where you can't get certain bottles. So the value goes up for you, because like let's say Canadians here, we can't get Lafroig 10-year-old. We can't get Lafroig 10-year-old cast strength, whereas Americans get Lafroig cast strength. But we do get GlenDronach at insanely cheap prices compared to the United States. Like, Americans pay a lot more for GlenDronach than we do. Yeah. So I might trade, an American, a GlenDronach 21-year-old straight up for a Lafroig cast strength, even though the GlenDronach 21-year-old's worth more, because I can't get Lafroig cast strength here in Canada. And I can get GlenDronach 21-year-old for $200 Canadian here in Canada. So it's not that high of a price. So it's not going to bother me that much.
So 200 Canadian. So that's like what, $13 American?
No, it'd be like $150 American. It'd be like 150 American.
So yeah, but
maybe a little more, maybe about 160, 165 around there.
So basically, it's in that 10 to 15% less than what it normally sells here in the States for.
Yeah. So I think you guys get the Lafroig cast strength 10-year-old for about like $90 American or something like that.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
I'd have to look it up, but so then my question would be, how much are you allowed to bring? You can bring into the United States with no freaking problems, but you can't take back.
Out. You can take out 1 liter if you stay in the States for 5 days. I could bring 1 liter over the border if I stay in the United States for 5 days. So technically, I could bring 1 750 and 1 350 milliliter bottle back home.
Okay, so but if so I know that you have plans when all this other shit freaking is done, and you can get back to riding and get back across the border. And
well, it's looking like probably by I think I have to wait till I get my shot, but once I get my shot, I'm hearing in the summertime we'll be able to cross the border of the United States without any problem, meaning we won't have to do 14 days of quarantining. Right now we can cross, but we have to do 14 days of quarantining in a fucking hotel, and I don't feel like doing that. So I'm not going to do that. And it's under my bill, and it has to be a special government hotel where you pay a lot more than you normally pay. Plus there's police that are there that you have to pay for that survey and make sure you don't leave. So yeah, it's it'll cost you like $7,000 for a 2-week stay in a hotel or some shit like that. And
yeah, so but I'm saying when you come, so basically you could come here to the States, go on your do your ride, whatever. What ride is it this year that you're trying to do? You're trying to go to?
I want to go to Wisconsin. I really, really want to go to Wisconsin. That's where I want to hit. I want to hit Milwaukee, and I want to go to all the breweries and shit like that.
So is it one of those things where you want to come down into New York and then go across to Wisconsin? Or are you going to go across?
I'm going to go across Ontario, and then because I've already done the Michigan shit, I don't want to go across Michigan. I don't really care. No offense to everyone who lives in Michigan, but your state sucks. Yeah. So I've seen Michigan 3 times in my life, and that's enough. So I'm just gonna go through Ontario. It's prettier and nicer, and it's cheaper for me anyways because I can sleep for Canadian money, and then I could just go across. There's a border crossing that goes pretty much directly into Wisconsin from Ontario, so I'll just go right into Wisconsin from there. No, Michigan's not bad. It's more along. It's saving money because it costs a lot when you're Canadian to spend money on hotels, and I've seen Michigan enough, so I'd rather sleep in an Ontario hotel that's going to cost me, a real $100 instead of sleeping in an American hotel that's going to cost me $147. So
Yeah, and so okay, so so when you go to Wisconsin, I guess you probably end up seeing Scott from My Bourbon Journey or something.
Well, I'm talking to Scott. I'm talking to Jason Coates. I'm talking to a bunch of people that live up and around that area, and whoever's up there, whoever wants to meet up, will meet up, and we'll get fucked up. I got a bunch of moto bloggers I'm supposed to meet when I finally get across the border, and a bunch of whiskey tubers since I'm connected to both communities. So let's see who I meet up with and have a good time. I always have fun. When I did my Roots and Six trip, I met up with a bunch of people. It was a good time.
Yeah. So just real quick, I want to say goodnight to Sherry G. Okay. I guess Mr. Whiskey just dropped off real quick. If you want to come back, Mr. Whiskey Shits, just go ahead and jump back on. This is I don't know if you know who Tito Dirk is, but he's in the back here. Oh, Mr. Whiskey Shits is too. But let's go ahead and invite Tito and Mr. Whiskey Shits.
Tito looks exactly like Ken, but a little more in shape.
Not at all.
You look exactly like Ken, man. You look like Whiskey Down Under. Fucking holy shit! He's
my
like
Australian brother.
Yeah.
Hey.
Jesus
Fucking
Christ, you guys are
twinsies.
like twins.
Yeah. So,
I
hello,
was like, hey, Ken. I was like, oh wait, no, that's not Ken.
Hello, Mr. Tito. Thank you for jumping on. Thank you for jumping on here.
I just turned on YouTube. Just got the kids down, and I was like, oh crap, they're still going.
Yeah. So, it's good to see you. It's good. I didn't see if you had a new video out this week or not.
I recorded one, but I've had no time to edit, and I'm falling behind. It's been a little long. I did the rare breed that you requested.
Oh, what's that you did?
I did the rare breed that you requested.
Oh, okay, cool. I can't wait for that. Good.
Mike Stahl is asking about the vaccine. The vaccine's not going again. Luckily for America, the vaccine's being produced in America, so they get like all the vaccines first, and the rest of us kind of wait in line, which is fine. We do the same. If the vaccine was, it's no hatred. If it was being created in Canada, we do the same shit. Be like, no, we're gonna get vaccinated first, and then you guys will get whatever's left. But so it's getting better. We're now finally starting to vaccinate the general population, but it's still in the elderly stage right now. So it's people between 85 to like 75. But then they're saying by April, it'll be people my age, like people between 60 and 40. So like it's going to go by like 20 years each time and shit like that. So.
Yeah, freaking, it's kind of, I'm in Southern California. Everything else is still the same way over here. There's not, I can't just go, I'm 51, but I can't just go in anywhere and get a shot unless I'm in a certain category of workers and blah, 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 whatever like that. But at the same time, I've been really paying attention to like the little things that tell you where they're having like little outbreaks and everything else. And it's actually been pretty decent here in the Inland Empire in Southern California for a while now. Orange County's had a couple of spike days and spike weeks here, and then it seems to be getting a lot better in general.
Florida of California.
What's that?
We are the Florida of California.
Yeah, and the thing is that
Florida's doing rather well.
They're doing awesome now. I think they all got hit so much that they ended up with herd immunity kind of type thing.
Well, that's it. Well, that's the thing. Florida's just letting people do whatever the fuck they want, and I have a lot of friends that are in Florida, and they in parts of Miami and Tampa Bay, and they're all telling me that it's doing pretty good. Well, it's not doing great, but it's got the same numbers as California, but they get to have freedom and do whatever the fuck they want. In California, everyone's in lockdown. They can't do shit, but they got the same numbers as Florida that, you know, I'm not saying it's better in Florida, but it's just saying they do what they want. They're getting the same numbers as California, who's not allowed to do shit. You know,
I'm glad I'm getting the first shot on Tuesday.
Nice.
So
that's good. Freaking and the other thing is that they said Disneyland was is not going to be open fully until like probably way late in the year, and then that's changed over the past few weeks to where they opened up downtown Disney, some of the restaurants and stores, and so it's getting a little bit better out here. I can't wait until this whole thing opens up and I'm working full time and I can go ahead on a day off and go down to Orange County and go to 28. There's a place called 28, which is a whiskey bar restaurant out there in Orange County. There's a lot of Orange County's got a lot of downtown breweries.
Just come here and drink.
What's that?
It won't cost you anything.
Well, that's right. You're in Orange County, right? You're in yeah. And but like Anaheim's got some really cool, like old town Anaheim has some really cool places and stuff like that are just sitting there dead right now, and it freaking sucks to see it. San Diego,
a lot of local establishments that have been around for like 50, 60 years in my city, like they're all gone now. A lot of them are closed up, and you know they're probably not coming back.
Yeah,
that's sad, man. That's sad.
Yeah. Well,
hey, libation exploration. Where are you at?
I'm in Northern Orange County, in California.
So you and Mash Bill are both in California.
Yeah, we're probably like 4 apart, something like that.
Whatever. I don't know what city you live in, but freaking.
I'm right by Anaheim.
Yeah. So if there's no traffic, it's 45 minutes. If there's more than 3, if there's more than 3 cars on the road on the 91, then it's an hour to an hour and a half.
Yep.
But yeah, so I spent a lot of time Chain Reaction area and stuff like that when I was doing concerts all the time.
My wife grew up around the corner from Chain Reaction.
So, but yeah, so he's not that far away from me. There's actually, to me, it's amazing. What's crazy to me is the amount of people that are on Whiskey Tube and Whiskey Gram that are literally, I can almost throw rocks and hit people sometimes because I can drive like 25 minutes to Riverside, California. And just from there, I'm within 20 to 25 minutes of like 50 people that are either my followers or I follow them that I didn't know were there.
That's a crazy reality.
I think the funny thing that's going to be happening. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I apologize.
No, you're good. I was just saying that's crazy. Like the time we live in, that it can be like that. Like all your close connections can be close to you, but you've never met the people in person.
Yeah. And then Tito, like, okay, so Tito, I've never actually even ever met. We talked a couple times in some chats and stuff like that, but he had his Instagram libation exploration on Instagram, and I found out it was Tito Dirk, and I just went ahead and followed him. And then the next thing I know, he was talking about that he was going to start a channel. And then we just kind of like went back and forth in the chats and stuff like that. A couple DMs back on Instagram, back and forth. And then he put out his freaking first video and notified me, hey, my first video's out. I went and subscribed. I watched the video, and I told him exactly what I thought of it. I told him, he told me it was shit. He gave me this whole freaking spiel about it being shit. And I told him exactly what I thought, which was the concept was was strong. The concept was strong. His freaking, all that behind him, which he built, his little set and everything else behind him with all his bottles, that was freaking solid. That he wears a smock like he's Bill Nye, the whiskey guy, and he goes through and he talks about the whiskey. He goes through and does he has 3 basic segments, which was he initially talks about the whiskey and does the smells it, tastes it, whatever, and then he goes through what he calls the titration station, where he puts each of them at different one whiskey, puts them at 4 different proofs, tastes them at those 4 different water, adds water in there, what he has to do to bring it down to those proofs, and then tells everybody what he feels the notes are between and which one relates better to the other, why he went from a 117 that matched up better with the freaking 104 than it did with the 114.
I gotta take off, Stanley.
Oh, thank you very much, Swami. I'll talk to you later, Bubba.
Nice meeting the rest of you, Stanley. Have a good night, bro.
Nice meeting you too. And
hey, real quick, Bourbon reached out. Hey, so I actually have a new address, so please send me an email to mrwhiskeyshits@gmail.com and I'll send you that new address.
Okay, because he put there that HBR gave him an address in Salt Lake City. So
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm not sure what address that is. I think it's probably like one of my parents' addresses, but send me an email and I'll give you my official new address.
All right. But like with so, and the first one was crazy because he was doing the titration station thing, and where he put them at different proofs, and it was weird that his notes and which ones were better than others, and then how it skipped a proof
for some of it, yeah,
where the high proof matched up better with a lower proof, not just the one right next to it. Like, the what was it? I'm trying to think what the proofs were. I knew that, but
that one I think I did because it's 117. I did 107, 100, and I think I did 90.
Yeah,
but I'm not going that low anymore.
Right, but then the 117 made it up better with the 100. The 90 was completely tasteless. Well, not completely tasteless, but tasteless enough. And the 104 was the worst of the bunch. He didn't like it whatsoever. Right. And it's amazing by just doing that, he's showing that, when these companies do this watering down to get to certain proofs, why sometimes that proof's not the right proof for that whiskey to taste good. And then he did it. Then I told him after that whole, and then his last segment, if anybody hasn't seen it yet, and if you haven't seen it, subscribe to freaking Tito Dirk at Libation Exploration. That he does it 3 ways. I call it the Eric Waite test. The Eric Waite test.
I've seen his stuff. So
yeah. So it's 3 ways. It's neat, rocks, cocktail. And he tries it in all 3 ways, and then freaking tells you what he thinks of it. His first cocktail didn't go so great. Because he put way too much soda in it. But then the next one, the second one was freaking it was basically dead nuts. Freaking and he uses like little tiny beakers, the whole freaking 9 yards. It's really freaking cool. He he was putting his point out, and it was freaking great. And if anybody, like I said, go check him out after this.
Appreciate that.
Oh no, not a problem. No matter what's going on, I'm still going to shout out the people that need to be shouted out, and I'm still going to do what I do. I'm working on this week's shout out, a real shout out video again this week. Hopefully, I'd get one out this week. If not, it will be coming. So
let me say real quick, Stanley. So yeah, libation exploration. I like the way you do it. I think you have to stand out like that, especially with Whiskey Tube right now. There's so many different channels. There's so many that have tens of thousands of subscribers. Like, you have to do something to stand out, So I like the way you do it, man. I'm subscribed.
Appreciate it.
I'm enjoying stuff too. So
that, and I'm starting a new series on it. That's just me nerding out, kind of, but it's going to be a UFC style with like weight classes and competitions, and I'm keeping track of records, and everything's being blinded. And so periodically going to do like not a live card, but like a video card. But then every night, pretty much when I drink, I'll pick one at random. I'll just use like a number generator to pick a bottle, and then I'll pick another one that's within that weight class. And I just do like under 95, under 105, under 115, under 125, and then like a super heavyweight over 125, and just pick another one that's in there, and then just blind them.
Hey, guess what?
Hey, do you accept samples too? Do you accept samples?
Yeah, if you don't mind samples in return.
I mean, I don't expect them, but yeah, man, I'd love to send you a few things just to, like we were talking about that Frey Ranch and all that earlier. Like I could send you some stuff like that, that you haven't.
Frey Ranch excites me. I love how they're like doing their own grains and everything there.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've never tried their regular bourbon and rye, but I'm actually going to pick up a bottle of each tomorrow. So.
Oh, awesome.
So yeah, I can send you. I don't know if you tried those. I can send you those, and I can send you. I haven't tried any Frey Ranch.
Oh, that would be awesome. Okay.
Yeah,
what's your content?
It's Libation Explore, because exploration was already taken. So libationexplore@gmail.com.
All right, man. I'll hit you up.
Is that explore? Is that explore with as in EXPLORE or without? Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure that it didn't just cut off right before the Asian part of exploration.
Oh yeah, no. It was with the E. That was the closest thing I could think of.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's the one thing that like I love Orange County and everything else, but holy shit, if it's not freaking first thing Sunday morning or after freaking 9 o'clock at night, you can't get anywhere down there. It seems like. The truth is that when I do go down there, like I make a day out of it, even if it's on a Tuesday. If I'm going to go down there to go pick up a bottle or go get a bottle at Cypress Craft or something like that, I'll go ahead and scout the Bevmos, the freaking Red Hill, Great Press, all those freaking different stores. I'll go ahead and just say, you know what, screw it. I'm going down there. I'm going to go down there at noon. By the time I get down there, traffic should be okay for me to get in there. And then I go to freaking High Time. I just go hit everybody in one day.
All the spots.
Hit all the spots in one day. And then sometimes I'll be there till 8 or 9 at night because everybody's got you walk into High Time one day, and High Time, you're there for 5 minutes. You're like, they ain't got shit. And you walk out. You walk in there another day, and you're like, they've got everything. And freaking, you're there for 3 hours trying to figure out, what bottles can I go ahead and get today? And will there be? You have to figure out which ones that normally will make it to the end of the week. That if you want the Bib and Tucker, that it's going to be there in freaking 3 weeks because it's always there in 3 weeks.
Right.
But you know that as soon as that barrel proof Elijah Craig hits, that you've got exactly that day and possibly the next, and it's gone, even if there's freaking 20 cases that are sitting there when you walk in. And then Cypress Craft's the same thing. The Liquor Mart and Whittier and Liquor Mart 2, those guys are great. They have really good store picks and everything else. So, I end up making a day out of it now and just trying to like, hey, well, and then I run into different people I know from Instagram. And then, I haven't ran into any other whiskey tubers, but I know now that I'll end up running into, now that I know what he looks like, Brian Gerard and some of these other guys that are right there in Orange County. I'll be running into them at those stores because they frequent the same stores. I just never knew what they looked like because either had a mask or was never there at the same time or whatever. So, but
Bourbon Bites. Is he out there?
yeah, Clifton Bourbon Bites. Yes, he is in. He's in He's in Los Angeles, more towards Los Angeles, Orange County. He's
Okay.
I would say, if I'm not mistaken, he's in. He's not in West Hollywood, but he's in. He's as far into he's in Orange County, but he's as close to LA as you possibly can be without being in Orange County.
Okay.
But he's only. I want to say he's like maybe 20 minutes from being at KNL.
Okay.
So yeah, so he's like right there on the border of LA, Orange County, right there. Which if people who don't realize, you can travel from Hollywood to Newport Beach in really good traffic in less than 25 minutes. If you know how to drive the area. Hey, I said in good traffic. Okay. But if it's Monday through Friday and it's anywhere between 5 in the morning and 8:30 at night, the same freaking less than 25 miles is freaking 2 hours to get through. Because it's only like literally from freaking Anaheim to DTLA is only less than 20. It's like less than 25 miles. But because of as the bird flies, but as traffic goes and everything else, it's still within 35 miles of driving, but it's 2 to 2.5 hours of time driving because of the way the traffic goes. Because I spent a lot of time like at the Wiltern and at the Novo and Staples Center area, and then going down from there down to Harbor Boulevard, down to Anaheim, and going to House of Blues and NAMM at the convention center and everything else, all in, being down there for NAMM for 4 or 5 days and going to all these showcases and concerts and everything else. And you don't realize how close it is until you actually start going, wait a second, it's not that far away from such and such. And then street to street, how much it changes from, oh my God, I can't be here. They're going to kill me. They're going to kill me to red carpet.
Right. Long Beach is even more extreme than that. Long Beach, it's like projects, $1 million homes, projects, $1 million homes. And it's just crazy over there.
Hey, you brought up the Bibb and Tucker.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the 12-year? Are they pretty good?
Actually, I've never had the Bibb and Tucker was just was an immediate reference to me because every time I go into that store, one of the only store picks that they have that has never left. It's been there for a year now. Is a Bibb and Tucker. It's a kind of a running joke. I personally have never had a Bibb and Tucker.
Me neither.
Ever. Some people I know that have them like them, and it's like polarizing. Some people, there's no I like them. It's either people love them or they hate them. And there's I want to say maybe the 12-year might be the one that people are really hyped on that they like, but I couldn't be sure. It's one of those things where I wish it was more like the Midwest here in California, but it's really hard to do this in case you know somebody and they're being your friend and they're just sharing a freaking sip of whiskey in their liquor store with a friend of theirs who just happened to stop by. There's no open freaking sampling in Southern California. Very few people have the licenses to do that. And those are all good old boy clubs. So you're not going to be able to get in there. Just like me not being in those clubs, won't be able to just walk into a certain liquor store and say, hey, I'd like to try a sample before I buy a bottle. And they pull a bottle that they already have open and say, okay, here. There's very few of those stores here. Not like the Midwest.
A lot of them do, but they have to be careful to make sure they're not getting in trouble. So if you frequent the same places, they will. I don't want to throw names out. I will be happy to tell you off camera. I don't want people under the table.
I know one of them. I know one of them that you're probably going to tell me. And yeah, the surrounding wood and glass case tells you whether or not they do samples, because if you look close enough, you see the variances in the bottle liquid heights. But yeah, I know a couple of them that do it, and they do it kind of like on the down low. But it's not like in Wisconsin or some of these other places where they literally are open. You walk in and they have a thing that says samples, and they openly freaking they have a license to just, you can sample anything they have an open bottle of. And if they have more than 2 or 3 bottles of something, they'll pull a brand new bottle off the shelf and pop it and freaking make that a sample bottle. So really, it's on the East Coast. It's another really big thing too. So, and I mean, I understand. I mean, I understand in Southern California with some of the people that I know that if that happened, they'd never go to work. They'd be at liquor stores drinking samples every day. But, and then, like me and Mr. and Adam here, we've talked the last time we talked together about how he's in Utah, and there's advantages to what he can get a hold of compared to me, because he's getting it at retail. My retail and his retail are 2 different retails. A Blanton's retail for you, for Adam, might be $60, right around that $60.
Nice.
A retail Blanton's, if someone's selling something at retail here in Southern California, it's immediately $79 at the minimum. It usually is going to sit about $89 at retail, unless you have some of these stores sell it at MSRP retail of the $60. But those are, for every 100, there's one that does that.
And there's a lot now doing that. You have to buy the bundles thing.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing too, is the bundles. That's the big thing here. I have a handle of Wheatley vodka that will never be opened by me, because it was part of a bundle, because I figured out how much each of the other things in the bundle cost, and then what the bundle was, and it was like actually slightly cheaper than retail.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know what? I want that 1792 12 year. I wanted that bottle. So I ended up with a Sazerac, with a Saz, baby Saz, which I can, I'm good with that, because baby Saz is good stuff. I ended up with a fucking Benchmark 8, which that's just for my cousin, because he just likes to get hammered. So I'll just give him that bottle. And then a Wheatley vodka. Like I said, I just need to find somebody that likes Wheatley vodka, and I'm just gonna be like, here, fucking, it's yours for free. Take it. I don't want it. And it didn't cost, and it wasn't that, it didn't hurt me any.
One of the things that a lot of those, go ahead.
I was just gonna say about the whole state control Utah thing. So yeah, we can get stuff at retail, but we're not getting a full range of things. Like I don't see Weller in Utah. We'll get Blanton's, but it hits a store and they only release it. They release it weird. Like they'll release it six bottles, so like 1 case at a time at a store. It's usually gone within the first hour or 2 hours. Like it's like you got to hit it right when it drops, but you can get it at retail. You can get Blanton's for $60.
Yeah.
If you plan it right, you can get it. But like Stag 15, when it hit, I hit 3 different stores, but I was in Salt Lake at the time. So I hit 3 different stores and I missed out every time. When it hit where I'm at, apparently I could have gotten it if I was here. It lasted for like most of the day, but unfortunately I was in Salt Lake at the time. So I still haven't seen a Stag 15. We get really limited quantities of that stuff, but when we get it, you can get it at retail. So kind of the pro and con of it.
Yeah, there's not retail wise for the Stag Juniors. I don't have like a hookup, but there are certain stores out here that if you know when you walk into them, they're not readily on the shelf. When they get dropped, that the day they get dropped, they've been sitting there for 3 or 4 days ahead before they get put on the floor. And that is because that was explained to me that the reason they do that is because they don't go and call anybody and say, hey, we got this. If you want to come get it before we put it on the floor, come get it. When you walk in, if you really are looking for something, and and like everybody says, you got to talk to the right people. But if they think you're there to get a bottle and you don't appreciate, there's no appreciation of the whiskey, then they're gonna say they don't got it. But if they know that you're a person that if all you buy is freaking Evan Williams bottled in bond every time you come in there, but you consistently talk to them about other whiskeys and you've tried samples of some other things and you really are trying to be in the community, they're in their world, in their community. When you say, hey, you got anything that's come in that's getting ready to go on the floor that I might like, that's where you end up with like the EHT freaking rye that I got for retail, the Stag 14 that I got for retail, because they know I'm a true believer. And they basically tell you, look, this is what it is today. But they'll be honest, and they're honest with me. They said, but in a couple of days when the rest of this makes it to the floor, they don't hold everything off. They just freaking hold it for a couple of days. Then they'll put the rest, they'll still put 4 cases or whatever out on the floor, whatever is left, they put it all out on the floor. But it's not going to be at retail. It's going to be $20 more. They don't gout, and they're not getting crazy secondary, but it'll be like $20 more. But at the same time, they also, when someone asks for something out of one of the cases, they talk to them for a little bit. And they're like, well, so what are you looking for this for? Well, I was told this is a really good scotch for my dad. My dad likes scotches. Well, what does he drink? And then they're like, oh, well, he drinks freaking really like low freaking like $20, that $35 freaking holy grouse, freaking what's it called? Famous grouse. Oh, yeah, he's been drinking that for years. And I really want to get him a really nice bottle of scotch. You might not, and they try to tell him, hey, look, you might not want to get that $200 bottle of scotch. I understand he's turning 75. But your dad's not going to like that if what he drinks is that what you're telling me he drinks. Maybe he would like something more along this line. It might be a little bit cheaper, but the places that I'm talking about that I frequent and that I have rapport with, I try to keep it within a group of these places that actually aren't there trying to sell the most expensive bottle they have to the guy who's dumb. That they actually like talk to the people, get a freaking feel for them, and then try to tell them, hey, maybe you're punching way above your freaking weight class. Let's go ahead and get here. And then if they have samples of something else, they'll go and pour them samples into sample bottles, label them the whole 9 yards, say, hey, come back in 15 minutes and hand them I've seen guys hand them 10 freaking samples in a box saying, hey, go through these and figure out what you like and come back, and then we'll talk some more.
I feel like you're talking about a store in Corona near you. I think you know where I'm talking about. I think you're talking about El Cerrito, aren't you?
Yeah, that's
he's not looking to gouge anybody.
The only thing he gouges, truthfully, I've looked. The only thing he gouges is that fucking glass case.
Yes.
Holy shit! Some of the
right.
Some of those bottles are freaking outrageous.
Oh yeah, they are, and those are the ones that he knows is going to sit there, and he's not necessarily looking to move them. But the thing that sucks is the whole distributor thing. So they're saying like, oh, you want a case of, Stag Junior 15? Well, you got to buy these 20 cases of this vodka, and you got to buy this 30 cases of this, and that's where the bundles are coming from. Is they're making these stores buy ridiculous amounts of things, and they're not wanting to just give it to someone who's coming in just to buy that, and they're sitting there. Sure, they sold their $60 bottle, But now I'm sitting with like 100 cases of different stuff that no one wants because the distributor couldn't move them to begin with. So it's like, it's a weird double thing. I've been screaming from the hilltops that I wish they could have two prices on things. One where you leave the seal on it, and one where you rip the seal off, pull the cork out, and put it back on, and then you're buying it because that's someone who's going to drink it versus someone who's going to sell it or do something else with it. And I wish they could do that, but they legally can't do that.
Yeah.
They legally can't do that, but I've witnessed this one time where a guy went into a liquor store that he frequented all the time, and he really wanted this bottle. And he's talking to the guy. He's like, "Hey, you can't come down on the price. This is kind of ridiculous." Boom, 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 and everything else. And the guy tells him, he goes, "Look, you're just going to turn. You've done it before. Unless you're willing to pop, and you've done it before where I've made a deal with you and you turn around and sold it 2 days later for twice as much as I was charging to begin with." He says, "There's no way I'm going to make this huge deal with you and give it to you, because I'm not doing it for everybody and I only have a couple bottles." He says, "But if you're willing to freaking break that seal, I'll make you a deal."
That's why you put on sample bottles and you offer to pour them a couple ounces of it.
Yeah.
Before you walk out of the store.
And guess what? There's a place in Upland out here called Rockies that he's hooked me up with, he's hooked me up at times, and he has his own thing where he has these specials where if you want to buy this bourbon, you can buy any other bourbon in the store and you can get it for $49.99. So you can buy an $8 bottle of freaking Jack Daniels, whatever, as long as it's freaking whiskey, you get this at retail. If you don't want to buy that $8 whiskey, which if you think about it, $49 for a freaking 1792 freaking sweet wheat, which is retail. Anybody else is selling it for freaking $79 everywhere else in Southern California. And you can buy a freaking $8 freaking whiskey that you're going to go to your cousins and give him anyway, and it costs you less than fucking $60. It's still a freaking good deal. And then when he got his store pick, I called him and I was like, "Hey, I heard you got a store pick." He goes, "Yeah, come on in." I went in. It was a Maker's Mark, and he wouldn't even entertain selling me a bottle or talking about the bottle till he opened up a bottle and poured me a freaking sample. He says, "I don't want you to spend the money if you're not going to like it," because he knows I'm not a Maker's Mark fan. So whenever I go over there, I ask him, "Hey, is there anything you're looking to taste? If next time I come in, if I got it, I'll freaking give you a sample." And he's like, most time it's no, but he has at times said, "Hey, I never did get to taste that stag I sold you." And so next time I go, I would take him a sample and stuff like that. So, and then even if like local liquor stores, to me, there's one down the street. I don't buy anything from them other than Pacifico's when I go in there because they don't really have their whiskey is like the normal freaking bottom shelf, the whole, the old school freaking liquor store. I bought a couple of Juras from them. They got some top shelf stuff, but nothing I'm really interested in other than a couple of scotches. And, but I still, the guy that always helps me, he's really, really freaking cool. He always if I need to take a piss or whatever, because I just got back into town and I'm there, he's like, "Yeah, they don't let people in the restroom, but he knows me. He's like, "Yeah, just go back there." He's always been cool to me. And if he gets anything he thinks is worth anything, he puts it off to the side for a little bit. And then he'll tell my brother or text me or something like that and say, "Hey, come stop by for a couple minutes." I'll just randomly freaking take and say, "Hey, you want some samples of stuff?" And he'll be like, "Yeah, sure. Well, if you want to, if you don't, cool." I don't do a whole lot of business with him, but I have a relationship with the liquor stores around here.
Hey, let me hit on Bourbon Beginnings comment real quick.
Okay.
So he was mentioning that he's been in Salt Lake and seen Booker's, I believe. Yeah. Booker's for $125. So I've never personally bought a Booker's, but I've seen them I've seen them all over in in Utah. I've never seen one for more than 90. So I'm wondering if it was like a Booker's 30th or a Booker's rye that he was trying to get. And then Old Ezra 7 we have all the time here. I've always seen Old Ezra 7 for $50 on the shelf. So
so the Old Ezra 7. I know that Ruben probably already knows that, and if you're in Ruben Bourbon Beginnings, please let me. You probably already know the answer to this, or you already know this. But there's a Winco. If you go to Winco, grocery outlets here in Southern California, Winco, they have their own store picks of Old Ezra 7s. I actually have 2 of them from 2 different Winco stores, and they are actually they're the same. They're the same. Everything's identical on the freaking label. So it wasn't like different stores got different shit. It's still the same, but it's still, it's still $50 or less. I know that the one out there by, I don't know if it's in Palmdale. I want to say it may be Apple Valley, the Winco in Apple Valley. I know when I was there last month, they had like 8 or 9 bottles of it still on the shelf, and they had said it's been there for a while. I bought one because I was like, oh, maybe this is different than the one I already have. Well, it's not. And then the other Old Ezra 7 I have was a store pick from Justin's House of Bourbon, I think, that I ordered from Bourbon Outfitter when they were selling when they were actually shipping whiskey. I don't know what they're doing now because they seem to disappear off the face of the earth.
Are the proofs higher? The proofs higher on those?
I'd have to dig one. I'd have to dig one out, but it's I don't have a straight up Old Ezra 7. All the 3 that I have are all store picks, so I couldn't tell you if it's a higher proof. The 2 different store picks I do have, there is a difference in proof of like 1 or 2 points. So I would think that it's. I know the ones from Winco are like 117 somewhere. I want to say somewhere around 117.
That's what
and I think
that's both of the ones I've had are 117. So
and the other one I want to say the other one may be still also a 117, but I was thinking it's somewhere around, maybe it's like a 115.7 or something like that. I'd have to dig them out, but at the same time, like there's other things that I've got that people praised and they're hard as hell to find. I got them for freaking retail and got them sent to me, and I popped the bottle, and I'll drink the bottle I opened, but I don't know that the second bottle is ever going to get opened by me. And I know if I put it out there that someone's going to be like, hey, I'll take it, send it to me, because it's that hard to find. One is something that I haven't opened up, and it's hard for me to open up because it's hard to come across, really, is Green Label 6 Year 7 Heaven Hill.
Oh,
I got a hold of one, and I know somebody where I could get some more, but it's like, I don't have them. I'm not in the means situation now to do that right now, but I don't want to pop it open and end up drinking through the bottle and loving it. But I do have an Early Times bottled in bond from last year that
hey, I might have you grab me one of those, Stanley.
What's that?
You said you got somebody that could do that for you. Maybe I'll have you grab me one.
Okay, yeah, I'll reach out and make sure they still have them, because they just made so I have a few friends on Instagram that from Virginia that make trips into Louisville and stuff like that, and they buy stuff you can't get outside of Kentucky. And they just bought like a bunch of ancient age 10 stars and Heaven Hill 6 years green labels. And so if they still have some, then they're right now they're out of town, so I will reach out to them later on this week, and then I'll get back with you about it.
which one is that?
Yeah, man. Let me know.
That's a Stag 14, right? That's a 14, right?
Yeah, 14.
14's good.
Yeah, that's the only one I've ever found on the shelf.
So Tito, do you drink scotches or Irishes or anything like that, or are you just a bourbon and?
No, I was into scotch in my early 20s, like cheap scotch, and that was like mostly what I drank. But the wife and I have been into beers and like barrel aged beers and all that for like the last, I don't know, 15 years, 10, 15 years. And that's mostly where we've been. And I've been drinking kind of whiskey with that, but it's been all like American whiskey, like ryes and bourbons and stuff. And then kind of have shifted a little bit, and it's been mostly the bourbons lately, but still really into, I don't know, it's flies out here now. It's been, the wife's still really into the beers. So the beers aren't going anywhere, but it's been that mostly, I guess.
So
Have you
yeah,
guys tried this by any chance? Leopold Brothers?
dude,
Well,
I see that shit everywhere now. I mean, I go Bevmo out of nowhere. All of a sudden, it was at Bevmo, Total Wine, freaking High Times. Everybody has it, but I never even heard of it, and I never decided to pull the trigger on buying one.
I
Tell
love
us-
this. This is
what
one.
it is.
So this was a $50 bottle. It is one of my favorite bottles I have, I think, but it's very unique. So it's not for everyone. It's perfect for anyone if they're into lambic beers, where it's made in a cool ship. So the way lambic beers are made, they're brewed, and then usually they're chilled and then put into a fermentation vessel, and they add the yeast to it. Well, the way the lambics are made is they're wild fermentation. So they brew them, and then hot, they pour them into these things called cool ships that are like copper or stainless steel swimming pools that are really like shallow, and they leave it overnight like that. And they let it just get inoculated from whatever yeast and bacteria is in the air. And then they do that. Well, they kind of do that whiskey wise with this. So it's wild fermented. They use open fermentation vessels, wooden fermentation vessels, and let it ferment. And then they distill it. And so it's got flavors that are kind of bouncing all over the place. But I've been really digging them.
What is it considered? Is it bourbon?
It's a bourbon.
Or what?
Bourbon? This one's a straight bourbon. It's a 100 proof bourbon. They also have a bottle. This is a store pick from El Cerrito. They also have, Cast Select. I thought I'd say Cast Strength. They also have a bottled and bond, and then the regular ones, I think 90 proof. I haven't tried the bottled and bond or the 90 proof. I've gone through a couple of the El Cerrito picks. And
What's the proof on the pick?
it's 100.
Okay.
I would love to see this at Cask, but it caught my eye because we also drink absinthe, and my wife's favorite absinthe is from them. I didn't even know they did whiskey until I saw that pick, and I was like, "Oh, crazy!" I don't like their absinthe. That's my wife's favorite, though.
Gotcha.
And it's interesting. I was curious what you guys thought of it.
I'll look around Vegas tomorrow when I'm there. If they got any out there, I'll scoop one up.
I think it's worth it, and the price is right. I mean, it's not like an expensive bottle or anything. So
Sweet.
So Mike Stahl asks, where is it here? What camera are you using Libation Exploration?
For the videos, it's this gimbal thing that a friend told me to grab off of Amazon. So it's like a gimbal, and then it's like a mic that sits in my pocket. Right now, I'm just off of the laptop webcam. So I didn't know how to hook up the other camera to the laptop for it.
Okay. So when you do your videos and you're taping you're doing your videos, what camera are you using for the videos?
This thing. It's the DJI Pocket 2. It's like it's literally just a gimbal that I have on a tripod, and then it's got like a mic part that goes with it, and so it just syncs up.
So you're shooting your videos for YouTube using that? No, don't. I'm I've been trying to think. I've thought about getting one of those forever, but I wasn't sure if it was what the quality and stuff was. But yeah, that's freaking amazing, dude.
Yeah,
That's
so
because it's really freaking good. Like the quality of your freaking work, your stuff on YouTube is freaking great. I mean, I have cameras for all that other shit. It was one of those things where I wanted to get that pocket version of it so that I always had something with me in case something was going on, and I wanted to just go, well, hey, boom, I got it with me. That way I'm not carrying a big ass camera bag everywhere to try to do something inside of yeah. So that's really cool.
Hey Stanley, how many viewers are we at? I can't even see it.
It's 10. There's still 10 people in, and I appreciate the fact that there's 10 people, and if it doesn't count me like it's not supposed to, and you two are here, there's 8 other people still here. So, and a few of them are, like I said, I'm probably going to have to get off of here pretty soon because of the fact that I do have to be up at like 6 a.m. to get myself freaking ready to go to be at my freaking the meeting with the human resources tomorrow at 9:00. I want to make sure I'm up, I'm awake, I'm freaking got got the coffee going, shave what I need to shave, and freaking everything else.
Does that mean you got the job? If you're going to talk to HR?
That's the thing.
Probably.
That's one of the things was like I interviewed on Friday, and the whole thing was that my brother contacted me and said that this place was freaking hiring to go over there. I printed out a freaking application, filled it all out, went over there and said, hey, can I talk to the maintenance manager? The security guard was having nothing of it. So I contacted my brother and said, hey, they won't let me talk to this guy, David. And so the security guard says that he'll take my application and they'll get back in touch with me. So he works with a lot of companies, and one of them happens to be the one I'm trying to work for. So he kind of just sent him a text because he works with him directly and said, hey, my brother, the one we talked about with that wanted to do the maintenance job, he just turned in his application. He asked to talk to you, but they wouldn't let him. So I was literally out on the street waiting to find out whether or not I was going to be able to talk to him right then. And I told my brother, give him my info, have him call me, whatever. And then he sent me this guy's info, and I texted him and said, hey, can we meet up? And then a couple minutes later, he says, come in on Friday at noon and we'll talk. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I didn't know if it was going to be an interview or it was just freaking feeling me out or whatever. It turned into a 2-hour interview. Went through the whole thing and stuff like that. And he goes, you're the very first person I've interviewed since I've been at this company for a job, because he just started back in August as the head of maintenance. And he's like, so if you were to get hired, you'd be the first person getting hired. And I don't know exactly what the hiring policies are, what the exact pay ranges are and everything else. I have to talk with my boss and see if I'm the one that makes the decision or he's the one that makes the decision. And I was like, okay, cool. So later on that day, I just sent him a link to my resume because I just filled out the application real quick and went and took it there to get my foot in the door. Sent him a quick link to my Indeed freaking resume, however shitty that was after not writing one for 20 years. And basically, I just said, hey, here's the link to that if you still want to see it. And then he immediately came back and said, come in on Monday around 9:00 to talk to because HR you're going to meet with HR on Monday. So as soon as I told my brother that, he's like, well, yeah, that means that they're probably going to give you at least going to offer you something. And I was like, okay, cool. And then that's what everybody else is saying. That means that they're probably going to make you an offer. And I have another phone interview that I was supposed to do Monday morning before I found out about this HR thing. that I've contacted the recruiter and told him that I need to move it to the afternoon because I have an appointment, and I just left it at as I have an appointment. And then there's some other recruiters that have reached out to me through emails that I need to contact once I get past this 9 o'clock meeting in the morning. Go ahead and contact them if I need to. But right now, I'm hoping that this job is the one that gets me going again. I know they're not going to pay me what I was making before because unfortunately nobody's doing that right now. And I just don't know. I just know that what I need in general, money wise, to be able to maintain what people don't realize in California, that I pay $1,300 for a 2-bedroom that's a freaking 900 or whatever square feet.
That's not bad. I mean, it's sad to say,
Well,
but
no, that's what I'm saying
a
about
reasonable price in Southern California,
right? But that, and it's not. I mean, and it's a quote. They call it a condo, but basically it's an apartment complex that people just happen to buy each individual units in, that I rent, and that is the low end of rents. And I got lucky to where I'm at, because if I was to, I looked it up, if I was to move into the place next door that's renting the exact same size from a different person, it's like $1,600 a month. And people, I don't know if people realize how much $1,600 a month when you try to break down just $1,600 a month into an hourly rate of work after taxes. So when you got that and a car payment and all your payments and everything else, and I'm not trying to be a dick about it, but if I can't make at least $25 to $26 an hour, I could be consistently barely making it week to week because of the cost of living in fucking Southern California, living by myself. If I had the same job in Michigan, I would probably be living in I'd probably be renting a house I'd probably be able to rent a house in certain parts of Michigan. But I know that a cousin of mine who lives in the Indiana, Iowa area and stuff like that is renting an extremely large house for him and his family for less than I'm paying for my little freaking humble abode.
Time to relocate, Stanley.
Unfortunately, when you were born and raised in Southern California, and even though I did live in Colorado Springs for a little bit, and I have lived in different places throughout the United States for very short periods of time, it's one of those things where I've got to rebuild up a savings and everything else again before I can just go ahead. Had I decided to leave Southern California when I got let go from my last job, and had my son, he's in North Dakota with my grandson and stuff, had he been established in North Dakota already, because he was moving at the same time, if he'd been established there and he had a place and everything else to where I could at least go to and stay for a little bit while getting situated, then I probably would have already moved to North Dakota, or it's right on the Minnesota border. I probably would have moved to Minnesota. But unfortunately that didn't work out. And until I get to that situation again, won't be going anywhere else. And this time, the truth is that if I'm getting out of Southern California, you might see me on a live Hot Buttery Rolls in his house, sitting there with him and J Pitt. Because if I leave California, I'm probably going to head to Texas, or I'm going to head to. I do have family in Florida, but I don't like the state. But yeah, I'll be heading somewhere else. But I'd say probably Texas, or because it's more the climate wise, it's a lot closer to California than people think it is. Heat is heat, and as long as you're not on the freaking ocean, heat is heat. It's fucking dry, and normally it doesn't fucking snow. Not like this year, but normally it doesn't freaking snow. So as much or anything like that. So yeah, that's my. If I was to pick a place, it'd probably be north central Texas is probably the place I want to go. I've thought about maybe northern Georgia, like if I found like a place in Georgia or something like that. I don't think I'd ever leave in Alabama full time, but there's other places I would go. I just don't have the means of doing it right now, and I would like to be. I like to have a job that I know when I get there, it's not going to take very long for me to get into my own place and get all situated and be on a freaking good, everything going good. So that's not going to, like I said, it's not, I kind of want to, but at the same time, my parents are in their 70s. They're here in Southern California. I don't want to be somewhere else if something happens to them. I'm 25 minutes from my mom and dad. I have one brother that lives in Albuquerque, New Mexico. My sister, even though I don't get along with her, still got to love her. It's one of those laws that they fucking make in family court. My other two brothers, we all live within 45 minutes of each other. And then my cousins live an hour away. One of my cousins and stuff, his family live an hour away. And it's like one of those things. And I have elderly freaking aunts and uncles that I don't want to be too far away from them either. If something was to happen. So right now it's not feasible for me, but at some point in time it will be. And whether it's 51, whether it's in my early 50s or it's in my mid 60s, if I'm still around, then I'll do that. But right now I gotta still freaking hate it. Hate to say it, still gotta love fucking California. Freaking, it might be the wild, wild west, as freaking Dr. Dre and freaking Tupac said, but California love. So it's one of those things that's hard to get. So, it always kills me that one of my friends, they were so diehard freaking California, and they decided one day, I can't do it anymore. And they moved to Texas, and they've been never been happier. And they keep on telling me to come to Texas. They don't have the room for me, so I can't just, they don't have the place for me. But, I've thought about it. I'm thinking about it.
Chat's popping off, calling you Grandpa Swagner.
Yeah, I see this Burbank swaggy grandpa. Yeah, I do have a grandson that's just turned 9 years old, and then my son turns 30 next month. So yeah, that was the son was the thing that happened in it was getting married in the Navy. Biggest blessing in my life for my son. Worst blessing in my life for my my ex. But my grandson loved him to freaking death. But yeah, so yeah. But it's getting to that almost 4-hour point of me doing this, which is crazy. It's almost 10 o'clock. I do need to go ahead and get this all situated back to semi-normal from the other stuff I've been doing today, and then
yeah, I think
get to
Bourbon
sleep.
going live after you. So open it
Oh,
up.
really? What you
coming
think?
on.
Did Bourbon Beginning say he was going live?
No, somebody else said it.
Oh.
Do it.
So, yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and thank you. Sorry you didn't get to talk a whole lot, Tito. Sorry about that.
All good. I just wanted to come hang out with you, man. I hadn't seen you in a while. Hadn't talked to you in a while. You weren't feeling well.
Yeah.
And everything else.
And the truth is that I don't know. I don't know how much of last night you got to see or anything
I
like
went
that.
back and watched the whole thing.
Did you?
Yeah, at least the part since you jumped on.
Yeah. So it was a very emotional night. It was hard for me to ask for the help, and I appreciate everybody that did help. I appreciate whether you helped or not. I appreciate the fact that people watch me. There's still 15 people here after almost the 4-hour point still watching me.
Cheers to Ben Demon Hunter.
Yeah, Ben Demon Hunter, thank you.
Nice.
He just jumped in. I'm getting ready to bail. But anybody else that's not worried about getting up in the morning that wants to go live, I know that freaking, right now it's just short of 10 o'clock here on the West Coast. The three of us are all, well, technically you're in the mountain zone, right, Mr. Whiskey Shit?
Yeah.
So you're an hour ahead of us or whatever, but
Yep.
The West Coast guys that are around, I'm sure they're not really worried. Some of them aren't worried about the fact that it's only 10 o'clock at night on a Sunday. They've gone to work on shorter sleep. But I really want to be really like rested and up and ready to pop this tomorrow morning.
Oh, for sure. Go kill it.
And hopefully it is a job offer. And like I was telling Bobby from Bourbon Battalion, I know you're not here because you got work in the morning and it's freaking 1 or 2 in the morning. Thank you for reaching out to me today and talking me into coming back on alive when Klein said that he wasn't going to do it, and telling me to not feel that I've done something wrong by telling people that I needed help. And I appreciate and love every person in this chat, every person that donated to me that's not here, every person that subs to me on either Instagram or on freaking here on YouTube. I will continue to shout out people that need to be shouted out. What's funny is some of those channels that I've been shouting out over the last 2 weeks, except for the last 2 weeks, but the other 2 or 3 shout out videos I've done, including Mr. Tito. I don't know how many subscribers you have right now, Tito.
I couldn't tell you either. I think I'm like around 20.
Route 120?
No, 20, 24.
Oh, 24. Okay, so that's a mistake. We'll work on that. But so
I'm being lazy about editing. I've only got 2 videos up.
Yeah,
I can't expect it.
But some of the channels that I shouted out that were like sub 100 or just at 100 and everything else, I'm at 143 or 144. Maybe, I don't know if I got any more tonight, but they've already surpassed me and they're killing it. And that's fun to see. And I'm not upset about it at all. I think it's fucking great. I hope that that's what I was doing. I wasn't trying to promote I wasn't trying to promote Swagner, the Mash Bill, Stanley Wagner Jr., whatever you want to call me. That wasn't the idea. The idea was to help people that might not know how to. Oh, well, Adriana, freaking Whiskey Mountains. She's damn near close to passing me, and she's only got 4 videos. She's been up for less than a month. So that's one of those things. It's like, that's a good thing to see. And and it's also good to see that Whiskey Samurai and Bobby from freaking the Bourbon Battalion, some of that, they've reached out to me and we've talked about how to get going on certain things, and people reach out to me and ask me for my advice. And I'm not professional at this. I just do what I do. And I just happen to have some from my other endeavors in life, have some decent audio and freaking video camera equipment. But it's good to see that and to see the women that I've shouted out, freaking their channels blowing up, to see all these other people start getting traction on Instagram and on WhiskeyTube. That's what it was all about from the beginning. every person I've ever sent a bottle to, donated, or sent a sample to, that's what this was all about from day one, and will always be about for me, no matter what, is that as long as I can help somebody else, then I'm going to help somebody else. And guess what? Like I said earlier, karma is real. I didn't realize until these past few days how much that really means. That's the truth. That what I've put out in the last 12 months or so out into the whiskey tube and the whiskey gram atmosphere came back to me in a day. And like I said, I appreciate everything that anybody's ever done. Anybody that donated or didn't donate, just pushing that like, just pushing that subscribe, just saying that I'm doing something that's freaking worthy of people, 16 of them watching me do, it helps so much. And it's changed. Like I said, 2 days ago, I didn't want to wake up. I was mad when I opened my eyes in the morning, said, damn it, woke up again. To this morning, waking up after last night and realizing that this community gives a shit about me. That waking up this morning, I felt good, and I was like, okay, yeah. Did I get up and start just freaking go? Well, hell no. It's a Sunday. I watched some YouTube videos that I got back up with some whiskey tube stuff, and then I went to work. Then Bobby called me, and then I went to work for 4 or 5 straight hours of talking to people and setting stuff up and everything else to get all this tonight. And it was the best thing that's happened to me in a long time, because I've only been gone for a couple of weeks, and it's like people act like I've been gone for fucking years, and it wasn't very long. And people reached out to me to check up on me. So yeah, this is surreal to me. And I hope that anybody that needs help, I might not be able to help you out monetarily at this point. But any other help that somebody might need, just somebody to talk to, you can always DM me on Instagram. You can always DM if you want to do a video call on Instagram or Messenger or something like that. Shoot me a DM saying, "Hey, do you have time to talk?" Hit the video button, and I'll go live. I'll go on video. We'll have a little talk between so we can see each other. And whatever anybody needs, they just need somebody to talk to. They need somebody for some advice about anything, that if I can help at all, I will in any way, shape, or form. I'm thinking about doing some throwing together some. I have a few little camera things and a couple other things that might be able to help some people if they want to start a YouTube channel or whatever. Thinking about trying to throw some stuff together like that. So if there is somebody that's really doesn't have anything to do, that I could help them out to get them up and running too, that'd be the case. Might take a little bit to get that together, because like I said, I got a few other things on my plate at this point in time. But thank you, Adam. Thank you, Tito. Thank everybody. Yeah, Ben, I know Ben Demon Hunter. I'm sure I'll see you. I'll see people in Ken's chat over the next, hopefully over the next few days. Well, actually, I don't hope I see you in Ken's chat over the next few days, because that means that I'm actually working. So let's say I'll catch you in one of Ken's chats, because I know that Mr. Whiskey Shits is there. I know that freaking Ben Demon Hunter is there. I know there's a few people that like to hang out there with Ken at times, with him and Simon and Cue Ball and those guys. So I will see everybody around at some point. I will, whatever it is, if you follow me on Instagram, I'll post something here too, but I will get in touch with I will DM Tito or Adam, or I'll DM enough people to where if I'm not in the chat in the next few days, if there's an update, they'll know what it is, and they'll be able to put out there that, hey, just so everybody knows, Stan found a job, or whatever the situation is, there'll be somebody, and there'll be more than one person, because I will make sure this time I don't keep all this shit to myself and let it freaking eat away at me like I did. And I apologize to everybody for doing that to them. But these guys here and other people will know what's going on with me. So, and I will make sure that they do know, because they deserve to know. They and everybody else here deserves to know. You might not know all the details because everybody's personal shit's their personal shit, but you'll know enough to know what my status is. Again, thank you guys, and I'm going to go ahead and call it a night to the last 13 of you that are in here. I'm not drinking any alcohol. What? Go ahead, Adam.
My parting shot, Stanley. Best of luck tomorrow, man. I hope you get the news and everything that you're hoping for, man. Like we're all hoping you get the job, buddy. So, Whiskey Samurai, I'm going to sub to you right after the stream.
Yeah. So just a quick Whiskey Samurai. Anybody doesn't know, if you like Hot Wheels, okay, so he's just like anybody else, just starting out, freaking trying to figure out his thing. And we had a deal where we all were talking on one of Ken's streams and found out that he was into whiskey and he's into Hot Wheels and he collects Hot Wheels and he has stuff like that. So we just gave him the idea that, hey, why don't you do? There's a lot of people that love Hot Wheels, whether it be from their childhood or even still collect them today. Do a whiskey channel where you review whiskeys and you talk about freaking the Hot Wheels collection stuff you have. Put out information about the Hot Wheels and how you got a hold of them, if there's a story behind them and everything else. It's a different freaking take. It's something that you're passionate about. And if one other person is as passionate about that as you, then then you have an audience. And that's what he's doing is he's working on getting used to doing the making the videos and blah, blah, and everything else. And so, yeah, go check out Whiskey Samurai. He's a good guy. He is. And I will say this. No, he is not my blood brother. Sorry. He is not my blood brother, and he is not my son. Because every time we go on live together anywhere, they're like, holy shit, you guys look like you're freaking brothers, or that's your kid. He is not. He is my brother from another mother, but he is not my blood brother. Yeah, I'll see you guys later. Good night.
Later, boys.
Good luck tomorrow.
Yeah.
You got
Thank
this. It's yours.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers.